What is up, entrepreneurs? Welcome back to the Friday Live Helpcast here on Entre Woman TV. I'm your hostess with the mostess. My name is Diana Gladney, and on this channel, I not only readjust my microphone, but I help you simplify the video creation process so that you can reach wider, connect deeper with the people that need you the most. I believe video is the best way to do that. And so if that's something that you need help with or into, consider subscribing. Just consider it. I didn't say subscribe, just consider. So welcome back to all of those that are used to being here on a Friday Live, whether watching this live or on the replay. Thank you for your time and your attention and for being here. So I had to take last week off because I had a eye strain, essentially. Just to the point that, like, it was just draining. It was crazy. It hurt, headaches, and it just was like, ugh. So pro tip here. If you guys do not have a set of blue light glasses, which you can get these on Amazon, it's just nice to have these. I am becoming an evangelist of protecting your eyesight now because, I mean, you would think as long as I've been wearing glasses for as much that I was on, just computers in my previous work and then what I'm doing in my professional work here, that my glasses would have had these. They don't. So if you don't have a pair of blue light glasses, get you some, or if you have prescriptions, just get them added to them. So just do it. I think it was probably an extra $15 on top of my prescription. So tip of the week, blue light glasses. And you can get these non-prescription even if you don't wear glasses or you wear contacts. I promise you it's not worth the eye strain. So Merry Christmas. So, if you guys are new here, you can leave your questions, comments, and things like that. Actually, let me, usually what I allow is for you guys to hop on live, ask your questions and things like that. And you could join the link. Let me pull get all that stuff together for you. But been a lot of questions concerning some things going on. I do want to, though, bring to your attention a couple things that are shifting in the space if you're trying to get online, trying to stream and things like that. And so Canon made an update today that would be helpful, I think, to the overall majority of the community. And so their webcam utility beta that they've been running for a while, thankfully, now that's out of beta. And so it is just the webcam, Canon webcam utility. So let us check that out. And so if you go, just kind of, you can Google it, the Canon webcam utility is what they're calling it. It's different than their EOS utility, whatever. This is the webcam utility now. It's just its own thing. So if you are still using a Canon camera that does not have clean HDMI, I'm not talking about with hacks and all the rest of that. It genuinely does not have clean HDMI out. This is probably the best thing for you. And it does have Windows and Mac in this now. So you will go over here, whether you're a Mac or a PC or Windows person, pick which one you want. They have a little video showing you what's what. The biggest thing that you're going to need is a USB capable cable, meaning it's transferring data. It's not just actually going to charge it, if that makes sense. So there are charging cables that are USB, and then there are data capable cables. They even added, this was the other thing that I wanted to share with you guys, they added that you can add in more cameras. So if your camera previously wasn't there, they added some other ones. So big time users of the Canon M50 know that you guys are already taken care of here. They added some older DSLR models. I think it stopped at about the Canon T6i or T6 models. And so they added the R and the RP, which were their mirrorless line. So those are already there. And I think they added a couple other ones. They're saying some recently added ones. Is that down here? No. So maybe they haven't fully updated the website, but there are some other ones. And sometimes they're branded under other things. So if you have like a T3i, T5i, and some stuff like that, they don't have, like, because this is what I'm looking at here. They're saying the recently added cameras, but nothing has the red asterisk there on this list yet. So maybe they're talking about PowerShot cameras. No. So they just haven't updated the website yet, which is fine. But I know there are some other models like the T5i and stuff like that. And even if your camera specifically isn't listed, try the nearest closest model that's on there. So if it's a T5i that you have, try the T6i software, or and get that running. You do need to close the regular EOS utility thing that you would use to run on your computer. You need to get rid of that or uninstall it. I've gone through to like uninstall mine just because sometimes when you're starting up your computer, that starts too. So you just got to make sure that's closed and not drawing on the camera as well. But USB capable cable, a USB data capable cable, say that 12 times fast, and then just make sure that your camera software for this is first that's pulling on the camera versus anything else, and you should be fine to use the virtual camera feature that they are including there. And so if you're not familiar with a virtual camera it's basically you're connecting your camera via a USB cable. That's literally it. And then you're running that software so that you can see, like, this is my Sony A6400, my regular camera. I'm not using the web camera built into my Mac because that would look awful and like this. So this is what it would look like. And that sucks because you spend all that money on a camera. It's just like, I want to use this up here that looks way better, much more professional, and just a nice, cleaner look. And you can use these as regular videos. Anytime you see me at my desk and I'm using a microphone, I'm using one of my cameras. So pro tip there. So that's some little news there. So if you were trying to get your camera to work before it wasn't, try now. So got some people in the chat. Good to see you. Glad you're here. Indy Kills saying, yo, what is up? Good to see you. Saying, I'm getting my Sony A6400. Well, you know what? Congratulations to you. Let's do a round of applause going on here. Welcome to the Sony fan club. The cameras with no limitations. No. And so, man, I love my A6400. It's a lot of new cameras and stuff coming out now. So, like this one is used. I bought it used, and it was just a phenomenal camera. The A6600 was used. I think all my cameras have been used, other than the Canon M6 I originally bought. That was new. Other than that, everything else you can buy great, gently used stuff and get a steal on it, especially now. I want to get into some tips about that real quick, because that is something that's super important. So if you guys, again, if you have any questions, you can drop those in the chat down below. Question. So Miss Eva, good to see you, saying, what do they mean USB not included in with the camera? Talking about over here with Canon, probably that they not giving you a cable. You know, it's like probably more or less like how it's been with some other people that I've seen that have asked some questions around that. It's like, well, my camera didn't come with it. Like, they bought it new from like the camera store for $200 or $300 more than what it is, plus taxes at a local store versus just like ordering online. And it's just like, well, I literally get these emails and they're like, well, my camera didn't come with a cable. And it's like, I know. That's why I said go to Amazon and get you a USB cable that can transfer data. I wish there were something to say, hey, on the cable, it will say X, so that you know. I have never found that to be true. You literally just, what I suggest is take something that already is that you're using in your home, or that you have bought with other electronics that will work for you, that it's transmitting data. Like, for example, if you have a Fire Stick by Amazon, the little Fire Stick that you're streaming and stuff like that, that is using most of what some of these cameras use, that micro USB type cable. Take that, unplug it from the Fire Stick, and try that for streaming. I know, because I did it to test to see for that method. Like, okay, you're trying to stream, maybe you can't find the cable, or you're just like, I need to do this now or this weekend or something. Unplug the Fire Stick, try that, and it will work if your camera fits that. And all you do to see, and I had shared this on the community tab as well. Let me see if I can pull this back up, because I think this will be helpful if you're not familiar with what cable your camera takes and stuff like that. Just open the door and literally look at it. One is going to be HDMI, and the door will always have the words on it. I don't know if you can probably see this here. Let me block my face. Yeah. Okay, minimum focusing distance is here. Okay, so you can see, kind of see it has HDMI, multi, and whatever else. Okay, open that door and look. One is HDMI. This is the one that's going to be for the cable. All right. So now I want to look at that cable. B&H Photo Video has where you can look at the kind of cable that you have, and they're like, oh, they'll show you a big old picture, and then you click on that picture, they'll give you a list of cables that you can buy. I want to see if I can find that, but I know I shared this on the community tab. So most of these cameras now, like, what is it? It's most brands. I know Canon does, and it kind of sucks. They're not being helpful with giving you a cable. So over here on B&H, let's go back over to the website. So you go on B&H, they have a cable finder. If you're looking for one for audio, they have a section for that, and I'm gonna drop this in the chat. So whether you're watching this live on the replay, you have access to that as well. If you're looking for audio or video cables, you're going to be looking for the ones that will transfer data. So it may be in the video, it may be with computers. Most of the time, just about most of the cables are the same. For example, so let's go over to computers and take a look. And you'll see, even if you need a cable for something else, this is what you need it to be. All right. So like if we look down, scroll down, because we're looking for USB types of cables. We have the HDMI micro male, which is the cable that the A6400, A6600s are taking. So you got those kind. You have some of these other ones. Again, it's more computer based. This HDMI mini male is another type of cable that some cameras will take. There's an older version that it looks like this, but it's a male version. It's not the female. So it's this USB type B mini male. If it kind of looks a little boxy, those are going to be those kind of cables. You click on them, you pick like, I need it to be male to male. And so you can pick which ones that they may have or whatever. But you can go through that and have fun with finding the right cables. You can do it for audio and so on and so forth. But yeah, most of these brands, I know Canon for sure don't always throw in a cable. But most of these, especially if you're buying it used though too, you may not get a cable. So that's what they mean. Long story long. He said, okay, I thought it might have been sent them. No, not much. Saying aloha Eva, as well as to Doc Rock. Good to see you. Glad that you're here. Let's go back up to the chat because I forgot. Saying aloha Miss Lady Girl. Good to see you, brother. Glad you're here. Saying yay, LOL, Sony Squad. Yeah, Doc Rock. Me and Doc use Sony cameras now, so welcome to the Sony Squad. So good morning, everyone from the cuttingedgetv.com. Good to see you. The Faith Cafe saying hello. Good to see you. Glad that you are here as well. Indy Keels was saying I was going to get a Canon M50, but it doesn't do clean HDMI, and I realized that Sony is just so much better. Well, yes, that is true. I mean, it's like, and that's the thing that's hard right now with a lot of people that they're seeing these older videos that I've made from like 2018 and even some of 2019 or what have you, or early 2019, is that, okay, at that time, we weren't all doing all of what we're doing now. The average everyday person wasn't needing to live stream. If you're getting into, for your business, doing video, you're already familiar with the social media space, you're already familiar with all these things. You know, you're not average everyday Joe Schmo, or most churches or whatever. They didn't have well, churches did. They needed to, but they weren't. It's like, but they weren't into social media. They weren't doing videos. It wasn't necessary. Most corporate entities weren't. They had a department for it. Well, now some of these departments then got fired. And some of these people are trying to do whatever. They're trying to find their own way. Several people I know have lost their jobs. I mean, and I'm sure several people that you know, maybe even you yourself, have lost your job, or your position or finance situation has changed. So though that camera, while it being good for video, just if you just want to shoot videos like this, it's one thing. And then it's like, okay, here's a quick hack. Even at the time I did the live stream on the Canon 50, the 2018 version, it's just like, and I was just like, okay, get the cam link, turn the icons off. It's fine if you're just sitting there, whatever, you can adjust it. But I didn't find out until later. There's like 30 minutes, it goes to sleep. I was trying to figure out, am I doing something wrong or whatever? Okay, at 30 minutes, it's going to sleep. There's nothing built into the camera to get around it for HDMI. And so now, fast forward, 2 years forward into where we are now, the Canon M50 is no longer a good camera for live stream. It never really was, but there was ways to get around it for basic uses, and that's what most people were doing it for. It's basic uses. How do I take what I've already invested in that I'm using for my YouTube videos and do the occasional live stream? And then Ecamm Live came out with their software, and I'm like, oh, this is beautiful if you're on a Mac. So there's still all these asterisks. But I don't think 2020, even 2021 moving forward, just like present day forward, the Canon, if you're trying to live stream, don't buy the Canon M50. If you're trying to buy a camera today, do not buy a Canon M50. Don't buy most of the Canon cameras if it can't live stream natively. There are only a couple that actually can, and I talk about Elgato's website. If you've been following me on Instagram, then you've been seeing the goofy reels that I've been doing. I have one today that was going to discuss that, but I have to still need to record it and edit it, which will only take a few minutes, but it'll be funny to look at. So and that's just like little tweaks and of jokes of, letting you take a look at something that's in this space that, but it's just funny. But if we go over to Elgato's website, they'll show you a compatibility list to tell you right here if it is full compatibility, partial compatibility, or none whatsoever. And I get this disheartening to be like, man, I spent all this money on these accessories and whatever. My camera can't live stream. It was never intended to, nor were things the same at this time. So present day, no, don't buy a Canon M50 for live streaming. Any of these cameras that don't have, like 70D, a lot of people have those. 80D, a lot of people have those. But at the same time, it's like, can you get around some things to live stream with it? If you're 30 minutes and under, then it's like, maybe. So it's like the Cam Link, they listed on their website all of these ones that can work, partially work sometimes, some that just don't. It's like they're on here, and they'll give you what's what about it, but it just honestly, it's not recommended. Like I tell you, clean HDMI, no. Unlimited runtime, no. You got 30 minutes max before that camera's going to go dark on you, and you got to turn everything off and blah, 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 and so on and so forth. It's a ton of crap. We go up here to the Sony's list, and I'm like, and here's the thing. Let's be clear. Pause for the cause. Let's be clear. I am not a Sony fangirl because Sony pays me something. I am not a Sony fangirl because of anything other than I like things that work. I'm sure you have a brand of underwear that you love because it just feels nice and it works. It's the same thing. And so it's like before I switched to multiple brands. I've owned Panasonic. I've never recommended those cameras either because it's like what works for me doesn't necessarily mean it'll work for the overwhelming majority. However, what I will say is that buy what's going to work and suit you best. So it's just like at this point in time, present day, Sony cameras best serve content creators and entrepreneurs because of the lack of limitations. If you own a Canon M50 camera, people are like, should I change? Well, what do you need now? Are your needs any different, or are they different? Because if they're not different and you still aren't going to live stream, then why would you buy something different? It's not necessary. And so if I switch to Fuji tomorrow, I'm not going to tell you how to buy Fuji because Sony cameras are still better right now for serving the creator and entrepreneur with the less limitations. Can you get a Canon M6 Mark II? Sure. Even a 90D that has, and even an SO3, I think those are primary three that you're probably going to be looking at if you want to stick with Canon. And those are fine cameras. I don't personally recommend DSLRs anymore just because when you do a video, audio preamps suck, all of them. And so again, for a time, yeah, that works. Not right now, or not even present day, because it's like, I promise you, do consistent and regular videos for 1 year, and you will hate what you have invested in. I've bought enough cameras to be completely honest with you, and nobody pays me. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody pays me. So, not everybody is going to agree with that, and that's fine. Like, I have a friend that was talking about it, and I'm like, that's fine. You can disagree. You could be wrong. It's like, I'm not recommending them. And that's just me being honest and truthful. You asked me for my opinion, not you specifically, but people in my community or whatever watch the videos, ask for my opinion. The little bit of money that comes from an Amazon affiliate or something is not enough to have somebody waste their money on any kind of brand loyalty. So let that be known. So when we go over here to Elgato's website, you'll see this is the Sony list. All of them have full compatibility, meaning that you can, like, even something as old as the A7S2, clean HDMI out, unlimited runtime. There's no issues, right? And you can get a power, the same one I use for the A6400 that Sony actually makes a power adapter for it. That works. Full compatibility with all of these different cameras. And you can stream for as long as you want to. Are they best for recording videos? All of them? Some of them are not. So that's the thing. So you just need to buy what's going to work best for you, what's going to best serve your interests. Appears somebody disagrees with that. I already got a thumbs down, but they must be a dark chocolate lover. No, I'm just kidding. Let's see here. But you know what I'm saying? Again, you're welcome to disagree. You can just be wrong. Shoot. Let's see here. Chocolate Twist. Yo, speaking, first of all, if you're new here, this is what I do for this. Anytime we have somebody that loves dark chocolate, just eat more white chocolate and you will feel better. Saying, what lens are you using? I have a wider angle lens to shoot my yoga videos, but I'm considering a lens better suited for a talking head. This that you're looking at right now is a dread that's flying somewhere. This that you're looking at right now is the Sigma 16 millimeter lens. And I've switched to this just more of a test for a time to see, like, okay, most people aren't buying a slew of lenses. And I think this is one of the best ones. And I'm so glad that they formatted for like every camera. For the M50s, it brings new life to that camera. For the mount, at least the EFM mount for the Sony cameras, I think even Fuji has them, and like it's just a brilliant lens. So the hype is real with this one. Some of them other ones, but this one is there. So this is the Sigma 16 millimeter. But the thing that I was talking about with the Sony cameras is that clear image zoom. So what I'll do is, now I gotta move and take my feet down. I have my feet up under my desk, having a good time out here in these streets. So let me move this. So what I'll do is, this is the clear image zoom. This is as wide as it would be. So I crop it in some. So this is at the normal. This is as wide as the 16 would be, and it's literally right here in my face. So it's not far from me at all, and it's very wide. So this, again, this is on the 16, Sigma 16 millimeter on a Sony A6400. And you can do this on A6400 as well. A6100 also has clear image zoom. I'm not sure of all of the ones that have clear image zoom. I just know those three for sure off the top of my head. So what I'll do is I'll adjust that clear image zoom so like you can keep cropping in up to 2x. So that's a 2x crop, which I would need to come down here now so that you can see me, but that's a 2x crop, so I can bring that in and there's no loss of quality. There's no loss of having autofocus or anything else. And let's go back to 1.2. All right. And we're done fooling with that. So, put my feet back up. And so that's a 1.2 times crop for the lens. Just so, again, it's not a zoom lens, but that clear image zoom lets you zoom. So I like that. This works for wide angles. It works great. This is what I've been using for the Instagram Reels videos, so I can get a full wide kind of a portrait. And then here's the other thing. I'm not a small woman. So if you are plus size, which I know you're not specifically, Callie, but if you're a plus size person, if you want more than just your neck in your shot and like the shoulders is cut off and it's just like you want to be better framed, a wide angle lens works well, especially when you put it in a portrait mode or something like this, even to the point I'm bringing it in some. So this is what I'm using. And you can, again, if it's a little too wide, then I can crop it into something that's more of a 18 or 20 millimeters up to, it really, with that clear image zoom, lets you go from like 16 millimeters to a 35 millimeter range that you can kind of like expand that out some more. So that works for that. Doc Rock saying, spin the loot on tether tool cables. They Garands work? I don't even understand that, but all right. No, saying I have an old can that lists with the 2 asterisks. I just pulled it, and it does have the USB Type Mini B male port. Yeah, and it's like most of those older cables, but back to the Canon cameras and stuff, or just cameras in general, honestly. Any of them will work when it comes to like that, port. It just needs to be able to transfer data. So just collect a few around the house that you have or may see. It could be to an old cell phone. Those are really good cables also that you can use to stream, because most phones, if you had an Android phone back in the day, most of those phones would not only charge the phone, but it can also transfer data. So it's good for the fact that go in that old Android box or something like that, you still got the phone or something in the drawer, get that charging cable, because it won't, most of the time they won't just charge only, they'll also transfer data. So just find something that you've done that with before. The Faith Cafe saying, I purchased the A6400, haven't used it. Well, I will soon though. It could be a little intimidating, which I was finna say, it's like coming from Canon to Sony is a beast. And so that's the thing, it's like that was interesting. And I was, again, just explaining this week. Most people talk about the menu systems or whatever. I had harder issues when I first picked up a Panasonic camera and Fuji. Whoa, that is the problem, child, in the camera world when it comes to menu. Fuji and then Nikon, in my opinion, are like the two worst. And it's like, again, the more you use your camera, the more familiar that you'll become with it anyway when it comes to the menu. So that's fine. But at the same time, though, it's like those were harder. Panasonic was harder, way harder for me to learn. Even like a year into using the camera, it still was a little difficult at times. But when I looked at and compared the Canon menu framework or framing to the Sony older ones, not this new one that the A7S III has, you have that first tab, that's a photo-based tab, and it may go into some autofocus settings as well, and some of those latter half tabs, sub-tabs. And then you have, in that second tab, is primarily video-related things. And then you have the second one that's like your playback stuff. Then you have that next one that's like your network settings, so anything when it comes to connecting your phone to your camera, stuff like that, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, HDMI settings, stuff like that is in there. And then you have settings of the camera, whatever date and time, that kind of stuff. And then you got the My Menu folder. If I pull out the M50, the menu system is the exact same way. Literally, it's the almost exact same way. Now, there are more sub-tabs, like so tab 1, maybe on the M50 has 4 or 5. Well, on the Sony, it's like 8 or 9. And some of them have like 9 or 12 because there is more that you can do in the camera. Do you need all of those? Will you maybe even go through all those? No. So it's not like it's harder. It's just more to it. But that's where that My Menu part of the menu comes in handy as well. You just add the things that you want. Like I'm constantly changing the video frame rate. I'm constantly changing the audio levels or something. And I did a video that'll walk you through the settings of it. The only thing I don't think I didn't share, just for sake of time in that video, is like an hour to literally go through every menu on that camera. Only thing I didn't do was go through the custom function buttons that I personally set up, probably a little bit more in depth or whatever, because the number one thing I'm changing before any video is always going to be the audio and the white balance. Those are the two primary things that I'm checking. Other than that, there's not anything else for me to do. If I'm going to do slow motion, like I'm doing, like when I was doing the Comica review video, it's just like, okay, I want to show you this or whatever. Then, and I know I'm going to slow that down. Now I'm going to 60 frames per second instead of the 30 or 24 that I was in. So just like small stuff like that. Okay, that's in the My Menu setting. Change it from 24 to 60 frames per second. Go change the shutter speed. Everything else stays the same. So it's not honestly that hard. Just use your camera more regularly and you'll be good to go. Let's see here. Doc Rock saying, so funny. I don't know what, but okay. Kamga, good to see you. Glad that you're here. Saying nice. Okay. Saying debut guitar, saying hi, I'll get to see you. I'm the Brown saying, would you say 2018, 2019 YouTube days created a following of Canon M50 users? Yes, absolutely. Especially on my channel. And then two, most people buy a camera based on price first, not features first. And that's a huge mistake. But you don't know what you don't know. And at the time, 2018, 2019, it was fine. We didn't have a pandemic. We didn't need you live streamed if you wanted to, or if you, in your business model, it made sense for you or something like that or whatever. And then two, it's like business wasn't different for entrepreneurs, even with small teams of 25 or less. They had a video person that they sit down, the main person sits down, and their video person that now, where we are now, that video person probably doesn't have that job anymore. Maybe they're freelancing again, or they're trying to do something else. A lot of even wedding photographer people or whatever, is that everybody had to find something else to do. And now that entrepreneur is forced to learn and do things themselves. That being the case, you need a full stack camera that doesn't have a lot of limitations. And what limitations you are willing to accept means you're willing to accept more of a learning curve when it comes to those things. I'm of the opinion that I think that you should be concerned about the efficiency. And it's not just in search of features, but about the efficiency. 2018, 2019, the M50 worked fine for just doing video. And a lot of it is just about doing videos. Add on that one thing, live streaming, clean HDMI out. They do better just to update the camera, update a firmware, update or something like that, and fix all of that stuff. All of those people now become satisfied customers. You think Canon's going to do that? Hell no. They're going to have you buy the M7 or the M whatever next M50 Mark II that comes out, or whatever the case is. M50 was the best selling camera that they ever had. So those videos are doing extremely well, and they always have, for that reason, because it's like good camera, flip out screen, autofocus, good colors, all the basic things that you need. Right now, the basics have become live streaming and the things associated with that. Like if you are like Callie does yoga, and like Chocolate Swiss Yoga, she does yoga. Okay, you hook a lapel mic on, you hook the Comica Boom or the Rode Wireless Goes, you can't transmit audio from the camera. That's a huge problem. Now you're like, well, crap, what I got to do? Now you got to hook it into your computer. Now you got to do something else or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of workarounds. People ain't got time for that. So, it's like, yeah, the channel built up a lot of M50 users, but if you've been using your camera consistently, you're feeling those pain points by now already. And that's okay. Because again, by the end of the year, we'll probably have another Canon camera announcement of the M50 Mark II or the M7. I just sincerely hope that Canon fulfills on that in clean HDMI, send the audio, because HDMI sends audio and video already. Unlock all of that stuff. Like, please stop with the limitations. Unlock all of that stuff. People deserve to have a break right now. You know what I'm saying? It's like people need a break, and your cameras can already do it. Just please stop with the nonsense. Ain't nobody got time for that. Okay. So 2018, 2019, absolutely created following M50 users, but in helping the community to progress forward also, doesn't mean everybody switch to Sony or any other or some other brand, but it might mean it. Are you like, you know what I'm saying? Like, is your content or your income or your business suffering from it? It might mean consider it. You know what I'm saying? That's my only thing. None of these brands pay us nothing for brand loyalty. Nothing. They make like, how many Canon M50s y'all think I sold? You know what I'm saying? From the videos that I've made or contributed to somebody making that buying decision. Canon ain't dropped me no money. They gave me a dime. So I have no brand loyalty to nobody, not even Sony. I like what I use, and I use what works, period. Canon just doesn't work right now, and that's the unfortunate thing, and I hope that they do and get their overheating stuff together as well. So that's the only thing, all right, sorry, guaranteeing Hawaii slang for Garens. Oh, we just truncate the word. I forgot when talking to mainland folks. Yes, we're all mainland folks while you're out in beautiful Hawaii. Okay, we're living out here in these concrete city jungles and whatnot. I don't even know why you're here. Okay, I don't know why you are here. Okay, this is what I have for you in this comment. And then I'm moving on to the next one. Alex saying every camera has limitations. Good to see you, brother. Glad that you are here. So Alex shoots Panasonic cameras. Alex and I also have had discussions on why I don't recommend Panasonic cameras. They can't autofocus well, and well enough to where it's dependable and reliable consistently. Some things you just don't need to think about, and autofocus is one of them. So yes, every camera has limitations. And like, to be fair, any of the Sony ones have limitations. Everybody catch crap for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody is immune to just being truthful. I don't need to be harsh, but everybody's immune to being truthful. Panasonic makes some of the most beautiful, brilliant, and good, just freaking good cameras, from Micro Four Thirds to the S5, which is a beautiful camera. Do you think that Panasonic released that camera with a phase detection autofocus so that you can do something silly like this and say, hey, I want to show you this card and focus on that, and you can see it and then focus back on my face. But the eye autofocus picked me up before whatever. So it's just like, oh, hey, I want to show you this thing right here. And I mean, block my face again. So it's like, I want to show you, maybe not the white label something. Let's do something better. The dark. It's just like, I want to show you this and put it down and then back up again. And it's just like Panasonic is going to be doing where you want to look at. We don't know. So yeah, everybody got limitations, but there are some things I think at this point in the game, like we need to, some limitations, like it's just from the cameras companies or manufacturers being ridiculous. Panasonic should have never dropped that S5 without face detection autofocus. That's where I'm standing on it, okay? I can rant on all of the camera brands, but I'm not going to. Zoss TV saying, what's the best camera for DIY handyman channel? I have the M50. Great job. Great smile. Why, thank you. I appreciate that. So, also, side note, I love like DIY ridiculous things that I would probably never do channels like handyman stuff. A good camera that's best for DIY, it depends on the kinds of situations that you're in, because that could mean, and again, you have to let me know a little bit more, because sometimes I know that the environments that you guys are in, whether it's like I'm taking my camera to a real job, filming it in a home that you're getting ready for it to come up on the sale or listings or something like that or whatever. Are you in a place to where you got a hot shower running, or you're going to be like where there's moisture and stuff like that, because some level of moisture and dust resistance could be helpful in that. So that's one thing that comes to mind with that. The other thing, list of features of things to consider, autofocus is going to be important, because if you're like, hey, so I want to show you this pipe or the inside of the tube, and if you look inside the tube, you'll see blah, blah, blah type of examples, good autofocus is going to be important. And the other thing is going to be lighting, like how well that camera works in low light and just literally indoor situations. Any of these Sonys will work fine. A6100, A6400, which are the same cameras essentially. Get the A6400 used and there's your A6100 with some extra stuff for the same price. So A6400 is fine. It's probably going to be on tripod. A6600 is probably overkill. And those will look good. If you're in small spaces, probably a wide angle lens like this would be fine. So like an A6400 wide angle lens is good. You got time lapse abilities. You got unlimited recording on the A6400 as well. So you could do time lapses and let that camera roll, or, you know what I'm saying, to just capture what you're doing kind of stuff. And if you need to go through really long tutorials or really long jobs and you're, for whatever reason, just doing unlimited recording, maybe this could work for you. I wouldn't see, honestly, if it's just DIY videos, the M50 is probably fine for what you're already doing as well. If you need more stuff, then I would say, consider looking Otherwise, you may just be fine with getting like a Sigma 16mm lens for the M50 so that you're getting a wider, sharper image. Helps with the indoor lighting situations. I'd probably still get a little LED light to just kind of, light the area and space more than just the bathroom lights or something like that. And just go from there. But you probably don't need much more than what you already have. I would say just get another lens though. But if you do need more features for some other things, like you already got time lapse in the M50, so you don't need, another camera for that. If you need unlimited recording, that's something to consider. If live streaming becomes a thing or is a thing for you, that's something to consider, but it doesn't seem like it. So I'd probably just say just get like a new lens, like the Sigma 16 for the M50 and go from there. Back to Matica Humanista. Good to see you, Carlos. Glad that you are here. Alrighty. So Carlos is saying, I have an M50, but I'll switch to the A6400 or the ZV1. Not sure which one. They are costing the same in Brazil. I would just say take a look at specifically what do you need. The thing is that interchangeable lens cameras, like where you can literally take the lens off, like these kind here, M50 qualifies for that. Interchangeable lens cameras like this kind of a deal versus that zoom kind of a thing with the ZV1. They're honestly, again, don't go based on price. What do you need? What do you need? let price be a factor. I get it. It always will be. What do you need? If you're never going to swap or buy other lenses, then the ZV1 could work. But I know you do more live streams. Okay, the problem with the live streaming on the ZV1, you're going to run into issues with the battery life. And I was sharing this also on Instagram, where if you look at the bottom of the battery door on the ZV1, it is not going to allow you to put in a dummy battery, dangle a cable out kind of a thing, because it just like, you'll have to see it, but it's like the way that door and a tripod thread mount and all of that stuff is, the door would never be open and on a tripod at the same time unless you jerry rig it some weirdo kind of way with some, you know what I'm saying? It'd be really weird to do it. Secondly, for the type of battery, they do go with those RX100 line of cameras. However, there's no way to use it specifically for that. You know what I'm saying? Again, just the way the door and a tripod thread mount are built and integrated together. Also in the ZV1, yes, you can charge via USB, via battery bank, and that's what I was doing when I was testing that camera, and that works fine. But if you're using a virtual camera feature like an Ecamm Live, you're not charging and streaming through that port at the same time. So there are some limitations with the ZV1 as well, just because it's a different type of camera. Short-term live streams, not that big of a deal. You're never going to buy other kinds of lenses. Maybe the ZV1, or maybe, again, one of the other kind of Sony cameras. But there's just some things to take into consideration as well. Saying just for you to know, the ZV1 price in Brazil, including import taxes, the ZV1 costs around $2,000 US. Woo! Hey, man. Make a friend in the U.S. and have them buy over here and send it to you. For real, shoot. That is a lot. So it said and the Oscar for the best live snoring goes to Diane. I laughed so much watching the Instagram clips. Loved it. You know what? It is very interesting. I had to work on my technique, okay, while I'm doing my Oscar award talk, okay. Like I said, I was sharing on Instagram just some different puns and jokes across, different brands and stuff like that, and what's what. So if you follow me on Instagram, then that's what he's referring to. Some of the new reels for that they've released out. I'm going to humble myself and show this clip. These are only 15 seconds. So let me see if I can pull this up real quick on Instagram and share y'all the nonsense of this, and you should be able to hear it as well. All right, so we got, seriously, Canon, wake up. Has it been 30 minutes? It's called clean HDMI. Seriously, Panasonic? Sorry, it's hard to focus. I'm so annoyed. All right, so we got... That's one of them. And then the other one, let's see, this one was another one everybody got kicked out of. The funniest story ever, I kid you not. This 2-year-old's walking in the grocery store, going up to this old lady. Mm-hmm. Right when he gets up to the old lady, I'm not even waking him up. So what happened? Okay, enough nonsense. But those are the ones that he's talking about. So reels are little clips like that. Let me turn off this white chocolate thing. Those are those little 15-second clips that are on Instagram. It's just fun, different ways to, incorporate some humor into my work. So, saying, Alex, your avatar. Oh, you're talking to Alex. You ain't talking to me. Saying, we're live. Yes, we are, my good sir. So good to see you, Alicia. Glad that you're here. David Guitar saying, hey, down, I just got a used Fuji X-T20. $400 with a kit lens, couldn't pass it up, loving it. And you know what, congratulations on your new purchase. So Fuji makes some amazing cameras. I'm not gonna even lie to you, they really, really do. Only thing that I wish Fuji would do is just like and I think it's just a small dial in, because they pretty much are, again, that was the brand I was looking at, because I didn't really want to go to Sony. So I was like, okay, if I leave Canon, what maybe would they release by this year, pre-pandemic, and then what would potentially be the lenses, maybe, kind of a thing. And then I'm like, man, Fuji got some good stuff. Only thing I don't like about Fuji, or I won't say that I don't like, I just would say it's like something that was kind of like I don't know. Their autofocus is a little uncertain at times. Otherwise, for the most part, pretty reliable. It's just a little uncertain at times. It was not Panasonic level. But nothing like this is ever a problem because you're not moving. Or even a vlog, you still got it in front of your face 99% of the time. So it's fine. I just wanted like, don't think about autofocus focus levels. And then the top dials, it's just a personal preference thing with me. It's like the film like kind of a thing. That's like, I don't want to do this on the top of my camera. So it's like little personal preference things, but nothing that's really wrong with them. So Fuji makes some amazing cameras. Trust me, I've been tempted to buy them, but I don't need another camera. And so it said, how long did y'all take to get a flip screen? Forever. That's another thing, gosh darn it, with Sony, that they just now, 20,000 years later, getting a flip screen. So, and even this was a disrespect, all right? So like I said, everybody can catch it. This ridiculousness of, first of all, is collapsed. Because the other ones just would do this and come out like that was how their normal things were. So they like, well, we're not going to give y'all all of that. We're not going to do. So they added this little bracket, and then you flip it up to get your flip out screen on the Sony. And while it comes out normal, this is a little bit thicker. It's just like, ain't nobody ask you for this. Ain't nobody ask you for this. And I mean it just like this. Like, not, no one asked you. No, ain't nobody asked y'all for this, okay? We wanted what the ZV1 does and the A7S III does and what Panasonic has been doing for years. So that was a bunch of ridiculous. And the touch screen. Why we can't touch the screen? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like that's just now a thing. So I digress. But I have no qualms about anybody. Like I say, no brand pays me, so here we are. Saying, Roof, I'm remodeling the kitchen now as far as your DIY handyman videos. So interesting. I would doubt that the roof shakes. If it does, you're probably falling through. So that's probably fine there. If you're doing a kitchen, then the only thing, what you have is probably fine. I would just probably consider getting a different lens that can maybe be a little bit sharper, a little bit brighter in indoor situations. Just like this room is for the most part very dark. It's not, I have the one light in front of me that's diffused or whatever. So like even when I was trying to hold up something simple, it would be even slightly overexposed just to be that much closer to the light source. But this room is dark. Window and blinds are closed. Kind of an overcasty kind of a day. You know what I'm saying? So the room is pretty dark. But this lens does a really good job at amplifying the lens, not lens, but the light that I do have, as well as making me sharp and clear and things like that. So I probably just get a different lens. You can keep the M50 and just get a different lens. Get that Sigma 16 for you, and it'll breathe new life into what you're able to do for that. Saying thanks very much. My pleasure. Same question. The best place to buy used Sony cameras. Well, I'm glad that you asked because I have, if you don't know, a camera buying problem. So let me give y'all the hacks of the century when it comes to buying used gear cheaply, where to find it, and how to do it. And this is a quick rundown. So if you need to take notes, but I'm just kidding. First place I like to check is B&H Photo Video. So I'll go over to their used section up here, and I will click on their, let's go down here, digital photography. Now, here's the thing with B&H. Go at like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. Go extremely early, because what you're seeing today and right now is after people in other parts of the world have already bought their cameras. What happens is, what I've found in my experience, what happens is they get inventories. Like, people are probably selling their cameras back today, during the day. Those cameras are not going up for immediate listing. And if you call or chat with them, they won't tell you that those cameras are like, oh, we just got an A6400 in, somebody sold one today. So, like, there's none out there, I think, on the website now. But it's like they're not going to tell you that they just got one in. You know what I'm saying? They got to go through whatever checks and stuff. But they won't tell you. So what you have to do is go in the mornings, like early, 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, as soon as you can. And you'll see the newest cameras that came in the day before or a day or two before. Those will be listed before anybody else sees them. So I like to go in B&H. If I'm going to go, it's early in the morning. And so when I come over here to the mirrorless cameras section, because I'm never looking for a DSLR, I'm only going over to, I did not click Nikon. I'm only going over here to look at the Sony cameras, and already since I looked earlier, one is gone. Somebody bought one, so they got this old original mirrorless camera that they came out with their NEX lineup. The A6400 is here for $499, and so on and so forth. This is where I got my A6600 from. Yeah, this is where I got my A6600 from, which you're looking on right now. I got it from the used section at like 5 o'clock in the morning, because I checked the day before and it was nothing there. And I chatted with them and I asked them, and I'm like, okay, I get how y'all process works now. So that's one. For used, that's one place. Adorama is fine, but they sell stuff quick and their inventory doesn't update as quickly. Or like I had one in my cart, for example, and by the time I'm trying to get a lens, because I wanted to like the Sigma at the time, by the time I throw that lens in there, it's like, oh, we updated your cart, that camera's gone. I'm like, how y'all let somebody buy it? It was in my cart. So I that's why I'm kind of like, Adorama is a little weird in that way. But this is the other one. So you go over to their used section as well. It's probably the same way, inventory that comes in that day, you're not going to find it till that morning. I'm going over here to the Sony cameras and stuff like that. They tend to have a bigger inventory at times of used stuff. I'm going up here to low to high, because sometimes there's minimal differences between other ones. So you want A5100 with a kit lens, there you go. A63, A64, 649 and stuff like that. And so you can see, like, check the condition of what it is, just so what's pretty good. But I've not found them to sell crap when it comes to stuff. So 55 to 210 kit lens zooms, I'd probably leave that stuff alone. But that's where I go for a lot of stuff. It's a lot of other companies as well. It was an MBD or something like that. ProCam was another one that's really good. And I'm gonna move on to another question right after these messages. But ProCam was one that James Buzzard shared with me. Is another one. So procam.com, and it's just / their used items or whatever over here. And then you come get a ton of stuff that they have from cameras and otherwise. mbd.com is another one. And then there's one that like other people use for some other stuff. But they have some really good ones. So Panasonic G95 that came out last year. Get that for $898. Other stuff. So on and on for those kinds of things. But that's where I would go. And I just, early in the morning, like I know I have the money ready to go. I'll also check local online stores that have, not local online stores, but local camera stores in another city or something like Pennsylvania or something. And I'm checking their online website because they also have good deals as well. You just don't know about them because you're not local. So Allen's cameras that Frono's Photo talks about, they're really cool. And they have a good online website. That's the only thing about local camera shops. Their websites tend to suck. So if I find one like Allen's cameras or Sammy's cameras or something like that that have a good listing and updated stuff, and you know what I'm saying, I can order online really well, then I'll add those. So that morning, I'm checking who has the best quality camera, like it's not beat up or it's like, hey, the screen is cracked, kind of weirdo stuff, which I've never seen. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, then I'll check there. And I'm going through the sites, add it to the cart. And I'm at the time I'm looking, I'm ready to check out. And that's how you know you get your camera and stuff like that. So that's what I do. Saying, okay, blogging also, but so much great info. Yeah, you're fine with what you got. Just get a different lens. Rocky, let me just say Rocky, good to see you. Saying, which software are you using for live streaming? Get all that text graphics on the screen and stuff like that. This is using Ecamm Live, but what you're looking at when I'm sharing this screen or this framing, this is a framing that I made inspired by, what was it? Luria and David of Live Streaming Pros. They made a frame like this, and I was like, oh, I like that. And so probably don't go to Diana.link today because I didn't add the link for people to join today. But it's like I wanted to create something that was like this. So, while I'm looking over, it kind of looks like I'm looking at the side panel and things like that. And then it's kind of framed well. So it's something I made. I made this in Canva, though. and then everything else I kind of like, do myself. But yeah, Ecamm Live. Saying, which camera are you using for live streaming? Links in the description for the camera and lens, a Sony A6400 and the Sigma 16mm lens. Saying, does the beta software for the Canon camera still work? To use the Canon as a webcam. I want to get M50 as my first camera and use it for streaming and content on YouTube. If you go to you go to Canon's website, they do have now where, and I'm gonna drop this link in the description as well, so you can have that. So the Canon, it used to be called Webcam Utility Beta. It's out of beta as of today that I've seen. And so it will still work. You just need a USB capable camera. You can use your M50 for live streaming in that way. So you're good to go. Let's see what else. Let me get back to the comment site. Saying $19 for the bottom plate for the ZV1. That's great and all dandy, but you still can't get the... my point was that the even if you relocate like a tripod mount or whatever, there's no way to, the way that the door flips down, it's almost like, all right, let me show y'all as best as I can because I don't have the video. So you see this little hinge right there. On the ZV1, this is where that tripod mount is. It's over both sides of that. So when you open the door, the tripod mount is still over there. So if you had the cord dangling out, you can't, like, you know what I'm saying, there's no way to put it on a tripod mount kind of a thing. You probably, like I said, if you do, you got to jerry rig it up kind of crazy, and that's getting a cage like this or something, and so that you're not using the bottom thread, you're probably using one of these side grate holes or something. So the tripod is mounted on the side, holding the camera horizontal, so you can have the door open so that you can use it. But that's too much. I'm not recommending that. So it's like, because you know why? Because I get those emails and those DMs of how do I do this? And I'm not answering those questions because it's like, use a USB, and that camera more or less is for a short term. I'm not recommending all that. Like, and that's where I'm kind of at in 2020, 2021. If it requires too much limitations and hassles, like I said, people got too much stuff going on. And that's nothing at you, I'm the Brown, because you're super helpful. And I appreciate you sharing that. Only thing is just like for me, knowing the emails, the influx of emails that I get, I literally went through 700 emails, unread emails yesterday that I had to go through and delete and just like refill, like all of that. 700 unread. I don't even want to know how many are actually read or whatever. I get a ton of emails from people buying cameras, signing up for the downloadable guides, asking about coaching, and all kinds of stuff in between. And there are some things at this point, and not even mention DMs on Instagram, Facebook, and all kinds of stuff. I'm not answering those questions. You know what I'm saying? Like, get something that's a little bit heavy or duty for what you're trying to do. At this point, I'm kind of done with workarounds and hacks, and it's just like, get what works. You know what I'm saying? But teach his own. Teach his own. David Guitar saying the clips were funny. I'm glad you enjoyed them. Bert, good to see you. I'm glad you're here. Saying, hi, how can you tell the output resolution from the HDMI from any camera? So that's actually a great question. So in the HDMI settings, in the cameras, whatever one you have, and it's usually like in the gear type screen, whatever setup window or network settings is usually where you may find this HDMI settings. When you go to HDMI, they'll ask you, for example, like the Sonys will ask you, do you want the icons to be shown or do you kind of want to hide those? And then you pick that option, and then it'll ask you, well, what resolution do you want it to be? Do you want it to be like a 2.5K? Do you want it to be 1080p, 30 frames per second, or 60 frames per second kind of options? And you select that. So once you select those, once you hook up your camera to live stream, then it's outputting from that HDMI signal whatever those settings were. Something like Ecamm Live, you can go in and adjust saying, hey, maybe I'm streaming at 60 frames per second for whatever reason one day. I can go in my settings now in my live streaming software, which is Ecamm Live, and change it from 24 frames per second to 60 frames per second. But most other live streaming software I'm familiar with, they don't have those specific settings like for frame rates and whatever. They just kind of pick up whatever you throw out. But it's in your HDMI settings within your camera, usually like within the network or the gear settings window. Saying, by the way, love the show. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad you're getting value from it. Rocky saying, which mic are you using, model and brand? Also in the description as well. This is the Samsung Q2U. Saying, only knock on Fuji's is the 1920s dials, which, you know what, honestly, I don't know why I've been looking into film cameras, but I have one back there already. And I think I want to start, just for my own interest and hobby, into like film cameras. And I get it for that. But if it's a digital camera, I want it to be digital. I do not want to be doing, like I said, with the dials. I tried the Fuji X-T3. Phenomenal camera. Amazing camera. I don't like those dials to change stuff. I just don't. Even if they stay the same, well, you only got to change. It's like, I'm not doing it. And so the only knock for me too is those dials. So Chocolates with Yoda saying those reels give me life. Yeah, I have had a lot of people that say they enjoy the camera reels thing from Instagram. So we shall see. Doc Rock saying the flip screen fiasco was a licensing fight with Panasonic left over from DVD battles. Very interesting. Did not know that. Saying Panasonic owns the patent. Oh, so basically you're saying that it's Panasonic's fault. Okay. So now we know, because everybody's like, Canon's got the patent, but it's just like, my whole thing was like, there are camcorders that use a flip out screen. There are other brands, like, again, you got Canon that use them. There were other old cameras that have used the flip out screen. So I can never understand that, but who knows? But we're past that now, thankfully. So it's just a matter of if they want to or not. I'm the Brown saying the ZV1 hack that may extend the battery life while recording and using the USB power, put the camera in airplane mode and the battery will barely drain. That's true. And that's true for any camera that I found. And that's something that I'll use when I'm traveling. It's super helpful because as you're going from place to place, even with a camera like the A6400, where it's a huge battery, great battery life and all of that, you do want to pay attention to your power management. So something like the ZV1, like Amda Brown is saying, super smart to add on that airplane feature. So I'm glad you mentioned that. And thanks for sharing that. But if you are traveling, for example, like I think I'm getting ready to take another trip. So we'll see. I got some fun things coming, some giveaways, more giveaways coming up. So more on that later. But yeah, that's something that you can do is airplane mode, adjust some of your power save options to give you a little bit more battery life. Mathematic Humanist saying, thanks, Dana. My pleasure. And then we got live streaming universe Ross Brand saying, hi, Dana. Good to see you. Glad that you are here. Ross, and let's see here. Debut Guitar saying, the nice thing about the M50 is that the lens are somewhat affordable. The Fuji lenses, forget about it. The kit lens start at 400 to 600. I'm enjoying both cameras. That's the other thing. So I've been looking at a lot of different lenses for, like, for example, the Sony, because not everybody is going to be able to, the prices are understandable in comparison to the value, but we still need normal people prices. Like, I am not taking mortgage payments for a lens. You know what I'm saying? Type compare, you want to pay mortgage on time, or do we want this lens? Like, I don't know. It's just like, come on now. You know, so it's like, it makes sense what you're saying. And Fuji does have some really nice lenses, good, nice looking lenses. But yeah, lenses are the name of the game. It's really not cameras, it's lenses. So it's like I say, always get the kit lens, adjust it so you know what focal length you need. Prime lenses tend to be better because if you take something that is a zoom lens and what's called like that constant aperture, meaning if I zoom in from the widest side to all the way in, it doesn't get any darker at all. And that means that you're not losing any of your background blur or brightness and stuff like that. So anytime you see that 16 to 35 f2.8 or f2 lenses, the reason why those cost so much is because those are really good, sharp zoom lenses, and unfortunately, you're not going to get those for cheap. For example, I don't know how many of you guys are into Casey Neistat, but let me show you what this brother is out here in these streets using in this kind of a lens. Now, this is, you want that wide angle, blurry background, great, sharp, whatever. Okay, let's take a look at what you're asking for. This is this lens that Casey uses, which is the 12 to 24 f2.8 G Master lens by Sony, and it's $3,000. Okay, now you say, oh, well, what about a prime lens that's high, da 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 da? Oh, okay, $898. And here's the difference, like with lens prices. So let's look at the Canon 10 to 18 millimeter lens that a lot of people use for vlogging and stuff like that or whatever. And you say, oh, okay, it's actually, price has dropped on this recently. So if there's something that you're into, check this out. You can get a renewed one for even cheaper. So that's cool. I'm glad we're looking. But remember this, you can even get it for used for $199. Okay, this is the vlogging lens. If you got the SL2, SL3 kind of a deal, you can even adapt this for the M50 if you want or whatever. But now, let's just change a little name here. Just going over to the Sony world. Oh, it's $800. $800 for, and at the cheap, $715. At the cheapest I've seen these, like $565, $595, $600 or something like that. So I don't even know if Fuji has one. Let's just play devil's advocate here and see what we can find. Fuji, this is one of the lenses I was looking at. If I got a Fuji, that I would probably get is the 18 to 55 f2.8. So even if you're at 18 or 55, you can stay at 2.8. That's $699. 18 f2 is $599. So, it's like I said, the name of the game really is the lenses, but at the same time, it's not cheap. There are better options, some better than others, some that, it's like if they have an f2.8 version, you can get the f4, it's a little bit cheaper. But I said these lenses is where it's at. The cameras lose value in a year. The lenses, I have never seen that price drop on the lens for any of them. Hell, you know what I'm saying? Unless you buy it used, and then you can find the price to fluctuate. But the name of the game when it comes to buying cameras is the lenses. That's why I say, it's like, you're not going to find something like a zoom lens or something like a freaking the best vlogging lens that's wide and it zooms and it keeps the background blurry. It's just like you're going to pay for that better glass. Whereas the kit lens, they'll give you that, but the aperture is going to vary. So it's not going to always stay dark when you zoom, not going to always stay blurry. When you zoom in, the image is going to get darker. Background blur is now lost more than what it was before. And the lenses just aren't that sharp and good looking. And I'm not the exterior, like interior, like sharp and clear and stuff. So it is no joke when it comes to lenses. So can you suggest ways to earn a living as a filmmaker besides wedding filmmaking? I am from India. Any ideas about that market? Well, the thing is that you have to understand, like when it comes to filmmaking, who are you making? It's always that any business is always asking, who are you helping with what specifically? Furthermore, what pain points are you addressing that they have? Most people for weddings, the reason why they're hiring somebody is because they want to capture that moment, that experience, the hopefully once in a lifetime, sometimes 2 and 3 times of a lifetime experience. For some people, it's like, the first wife wasn't good. Let's get the second one in. You know what I'm saying? So if you're doing something more than just that, honestly, right now, if you are into any level of video making, it's going to be making videos for other entrepreneurs, other content creators, schools. More than a person, I would tap into a business or an industry that needs help, and that's everybody right now. So take those filmmaking skills, and maybe you can't do your passion project or thing that your ideal work, because maybe those projects aren't happening as much, just like weddings aren't happening as much right now, and what they are doing is a smaller group of people. Now let's go to a school district. Don't try to get a teacher or maybe per se what do you call them? A psychiatric person or whatever, psychologist. It's like, let's not go to the specific entrepreneur per se, but or the teacher per se or something like that, but let's go for the school district. Let's go for that school system, because they're all needing help. And so if you can find a way to help that, then your checks aren't coming from a person who's like, oh man, my rent or my mortgage and the car note and blah, blah, blah. Is coming from a bigger budget that has and can make that expense make sense. And so if you're into, any kind of creative work that you need to do, maybe you are a writer, maybe you were into makeup or something, stop thinking person to person type of B2B business. Actually go to a bigger entity, because if the corporation is not failing significantly, or maybe they're kind of like at a recoup kind of a place right now, go to a school district type of a thing. They still need to do videos. They still need to have announcements. Instead of going to a specific church, for example, go to a network of churches. So like you have like, and it depends. I know you're in India, but I'm just kind of giving this example for everybody as well. Like I know you have like the Catholic Church, and so there are a bunch of ones that are under there. That you have different denominations for different things. Okay, take that same kind of example or principle. There are 12 different churches or 12 different nonprofits under this one umbrella. Don't go to the specific point on the umbrella. Go to the top of the umbrella and start there, because they'll see the need greater by saying like, yeah, we have 4 churches out of our 12 church connection that actually does need help, or they do need somebody to fill in. So now you instantly went from no jobs to 4 different jobs per month, and your check is coming from one person versus like, oh man, this person didn't pay, or this person is late. Just take that creative space, like really think of who's in your space, your market, or whatever, even an hour or 2 hours drive away in maybe another major city or something like that. I think is smart to make those drives for those jobs or school systems or nonprofits or whatever, but you're going to have to think outside the box and reapply your skills to another industry that still needs help. Glenn saying you're wonderful, wonderfully helpful. Getting started soon. Thanks for your videos. My pleasure, Glenn. Glad to be of service. Saying, what did I miss? Oh, we gave away a car. We gave away a house. I gave away 2 cameras, 18 lenses, so you missed it. You missed it, though. ID Security Lab saying what lens are you using right now. Sigma 16 millimeters. Links in the description. So Doc Rock saying basic cross-brand lens adapter is $80. With speed boosters built in are about $300 to $400 using all my Canon glass on my Sony. So in English, what he's saying for those that may not be familiar is that you have little adapters. Trying not to knock multiple things over. So for any brand, just about. Where the speed booster is this element. Let me take Doc's thing down here. The speed booster is this little glass element that's in between here. Let me block my face. So you can see it's a little glass. All right, let me block my face some more. This is where we need that, what do you call it? Product showcase mode that they came out with. Well, come on here. There we go. So you can see it's a little glass element. You can see it's kind of blurry. It's a little glass element in here. Even a little USB to update it and stuff like that. Gold connections and all of that, so that you can connect this up to your specific camera. This is called a speed booster, meaning I take a full frame lens like this one that I used or was using, that was for Canon, and this lens by itself does not fit the Canon M50. However, this adapter means that I can make these two work together. So I connect the lens, and now I put this on my camera, and now this will work. The good thing is other brands like Viltrox, like, who's the other one, Doc, that does Metabones or Photodiox. There we go. Thank you, sir. Metabones, Photodiox, and Viltrox are 3 brands that will share with you adapters like that. So even though that this is a Canon lens, if I did not want to buy whatever, maybe I get the 10 to 18 for Canon, I spend $300 or $400 on a speed booster that connects Canon lenses to Sony camera bodies, and now that can work. It's called like one of those, like the MC11 adapter by Sigma. They make one, which Sony said recently that those are the ones that are most updated to work best with their ones. So I don't know if they are kind of helping them with that, since they kind of work with Sigma a little bit. But that's one thing. So those are options. Sometimes for some brands, there may be a very slight, and some may not even be noticeable enough to even care. Slight autofocus difference, I guess, depending on the brand or the lens maybe or whatever, or the adapter. But if you buy a good one, more or less, I haven't heard anybody really complain about them not working these days. So that's one option. You get a Canon lens, put it on your Sony body, get a speed booster or whatever, and that glass element just makes sure you don't lose any of the width. So instead of the video being this wide like it is now, it'll just kind of like crop in. Speed boosters make sure you maintain that extra space. So thanks for sharing that, Doc. Maybe I'll look at that, see what kind of speed boosters we can get for the Sony. cameras to Canon lenses. I don't know. Let me know if y'all interested in that. Rocky saying, you mentioned Casey Neistat. How was he able to make so much money to afford such expensive camera lenses? What is his source of income? He's an entrepreneur. He's a filmmaker, and it's like the other thing is that someone that has had the impact that he has on a brand platform, companies are willing to pay for access to his audience, for attention. You got to think of like Super Bowl ads and how much those cost. You have a person that can command that kind of attention on YouTube or something like that, and brands will gladly pay whatever he tells them to pay, and this is for other creators as well, to get in front of that audience. So just like Sony sent them the A7S3 or whatever, they like, hey man, whatever camera you use, a lot of people tend to use and buy. In the same way, on a very small scale. When I used the Canon M50, I made Canon M50 videos. A lot of people buy Canon cameras. Let's amplify that even more. So now Canon is just like, hey, shoot, you're getting 21 million views a video. Our ads that we're paying from the corporate side aren't even getting that level of attention. Can we give you a camera? Can we give you a lens? Can we get an ad spot or whatever? How much will it cost or whatever? I get those emails, obviously on a smaller scale. But it's like I get those emails like, hey, how much would it cost? I've turned down a lot of companies. Turned down a lot of income for that reason. Just like, that's not on brand, or my people don't care about that, or that's not something I would recommend, or I don't recommend, or a brand I don't support. In that, like, because it's crap, you know? So Casey does that. In addition to he's an entrepreneur. And in addition to that, he has other sources of income. And with an audience, when you add links in the description, you recommend things, or somebody see you wearing whatever, and they like you, love you, want to support what you're doing, you get all kind of stuff. Even on this channel, as small as my channel is, I still get monetary donations that people give me. Stuff like the super chats and the live streams, and those come up. Email people like, I just want to say thank you. I want to give something to you. I get those. Or people like, hey man, what's your Cash App? Let me help. You know what I'm saying? I just want to give something because, you know, whatever. That happens even on small scales. On a large scale now, it's more or less going to happen significantly. In addition to working with brands, like he was in a movie recently, all kinds of stuff happens. So that access to other industries brings more income and more revenue that just really makes things work better. So Dr. ELO saying, hey, Diana, good to see you. Glad that you're here. Saying happy Friday. Happy Friday to you as well. Saying what school district, how to find the top of the umbrella companies which have small businesses or what have you. So Google search. Literally, who's around you, who's in your area, who's in your market. You're going to have to do some research on that. And you do want to look into who is it that is in, like, so for example, I'm in St. Louis. And so I'm like, okay, I'm not just thinking about St. Louis City as a whole. I'm looking at Missouri. I'm looking at Illinois. I'm looking at Kansas. I would make the drive to go do the work if if the exchange is there. And so if I'm just thinking, let me go to the elementary down the school, and then you try the next 3 elementary schools, more or less, those elementary schools are in the same district because they're all within a certain mile radius. I don't know how things are there in India or how they operate in other countries, but think bigger than just knock on this person's door per se, kind of a example. Get in front of decision makers. That's how you're going to ask questions. Be humble, ask questions. Sometimes people will be willing to help you support, or word to get around or get out or something like that. And it could be a restaurant. And like, it's like, hey, I own not just a restaurant, but I own a coffee bar, or I own a fruit bar, or, whatever. So don't just think person, like, knock on their door, hey, X, Y, and Z, because you get about 5 or 10 of those. And if everybody says no, you're like, man, nobody wants me. Don't think like that. Those people may not have been right for them, but then also go to the decision makers. Because sometimes you're talking to people that's not a decision maker. They're just a gatekeeper or somebody blocking the path. Go around them. So that's what I would say. Saying, does the lens that you're using right now require a speed booster? No, this just attaches straight to the camera. Elaine saying, I appreciate your explanations of new gear and new language. You saved me from the distraction of leaving the Helpcast for help understanding. What just flew by. My pleasure. Glad to be of service. So let's see here. All right. Let's see here. Alrighty. Saying Rocky and HBO show would have paid Casey $5 million plus for a single season And that's because it was a small show. So I guess y'all talking about Casey or whatever. And then he's answering some questions. So thanks for that. Appreciate that. Right then. So, hour and 22 minutes into the live helpcast. Is there any other things that I can address or answer questions for? Because otherwise, if not, I'm going to wrap it up. So if you guys have any further questions or things that you want answered for you in this live helpcast, drop it in the chat below right now. Otherwise, we're going to wrap it up. If you want your channel looked at for any kind of channel reviews, please drop those as well, and we can take a look at it also. Otherwise, we're going to call it on this one, saying Miss Eileen saying, hey, Entree peeps. Good to see you, Miss Eileen. Glad that you are here. Rocky saying, other than making videos for businesses, how can I film or make a living from earning? Think of solving problems. As entrepreneurs, we solve problems. What problems are people having? And here's the thing. Don't ask them, what can I help you with? They don't even know sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Or they're too busy because their train of thought is on something else. They're not thinking about how can somebody help me. They have a problem. Like, where are they stressed out at? Think of the things that are keeping people up at night. And like most people, even like when people ask for mentorship, they're like, hey, you know what I'm saying, I want to be a mentor or a mentee of you, or can you be my mentor? No, it's like because all the mentor is thinking is, I'm willingly going to take on somebody that's going to draw more time, literally provide no additional value to me. And it's like, for what? And that's so it's like it becomes an instant no. Whereas if the mentee came up and say, hey, for the next 6 months, I noticed that you always mention in your live streams that you don't have, like you had so many emails. I am somebody that has self-taught myself to learn about Canva, to learn about MailChimp, and learn about Kajabi and whatever other stuff. And I've been learning a lot. I took a course on whatever, and I've been using it for myself. I was wondering, would you be open to me being able to help manage your email? I have some systems that I'd like to run past you if we can schedule some time to set aside so that I can share with you that. And if you allow me, I'd love to mentor under you within those 6 months. But honestly, just serve you if I can, and just soak up whatever I can if that won't be too much of a bother. You've made it undeniable now for somebody to say yes. And that's just a mentor-mentee situation. As entrepreneurs, if you're talking about a job, or you're talking about fulfilling a space for them in their business or whatever, do not come to them saying, hey, is there anything I can do? You know what I'm saying? I need to make some money, or I can do anything. They don't know. You left the door too open. Narrow that door and say specifically one that they can walk through and honestly make a decision, because too many options leads to analysis paralysis for anything in sales and business or otherwise. So if you're going to an entrepreneur or something like that, if you're going to an entrepreneur or something like that, what problem are they solving? Here's the thing. Research them. Research the head. Go on LinkedIn. Follow the head of the school districts. Follow the head of the companies. Follow the restaurant owners. See what things that they talk about. If it's something as simple as if you're a tutor or a teacher and you lost your job, okay, tutoring is something that you can do, but somebody just going to say, hey, can I tutor your kid? And you pay me, I don't know, $3,000 a month for me to tutor your kid. And, it's like, no. You know what I'm saying? You're not leading with any value to them. Always lead with the value to the other person and how you can genuinely serve them. So, for example, if I can follow that person on Facebook and their live broadcasts or Instagram lives or whatever, they're always saying, man, my kids get on my nerves, always asking me for help, and I just don't have time to help them. Okay, if you're a teacher and you need a job and you're trying to do that, reach out to them and saying, hey, I love your work, been following you for a long time. I noticed that you're saying that your kids always need them. I actually have 16 years worth of experience in the math department at X, Y, and Z school district, and I've worked with whatever. I was wondering if you'd be open to me mentoring your kids. Maybe I can do it for the first month for free and just see if you see value in our time together. Maybe there's something else that we can work with or continue to work with your child if your child starts to see results. If not, then you've lost nothing. So is this something you might be open to considering? You made it undeniable for them to say yes. So it's the same thing. You're into nutrition, go to a sports person that doesn't have a nutritionist, or they're always saying, man, I eat bad because I just don't have time. Like, find their problem and solve it, period. That's the best way to do that. So let's see here. Let me go back up. Saying, Doc Ross said, I want to remind folks, it's okay to be inspired by Casey or other big YouTubers. Please don't copy them. There are so many copycats, and it's ill. Yeah, it's just like you got to find your own style. Got to find your own style for sure. And just like with that, it's always about, just being about. It's like being inspired to take action. That's what I'll say. Piggybacking off of what he's saying, being inspired to take action off of what they're doing, because that'll always lead you to finding your own way of making content. And saying I don't know is not a good excuse to keep doing something or not do something. So let's pull this up. Pause that there, otherwise that'll blast. So somebody said they wanted a channel review. Indy Kills saying I want a channel review. Alrighty, so let's see what we have here. Now the thing is, can your channel be found when you search for it on YouTube? That's always going to be thing number one. So for example, let's go back and we'll go over here. So I had a brain fart and I was like, okay, I can't remember what my channel's called. And so I just typed, or like the URL, which is youtube.com/EntreWomanTV. And I just typed in EntreWomanTV and it came up in search. And so this is what you want. So if I take your channel name and I hit search, are you going to come up? Already, great, you do. So that's always the first win. Can I find you when it comes to that? So good job. So 4.83 thousand subscribers, 271 videos. Congrats. That is some straight hustle and some work to do that many videos, and I know that for a fact. So let's take a look here.
See, guys, we have the
pause for the cause, and I'm gonna turn this audio down. So first things first, way I review content is, and let me just reframe that real quick. So the way I always look at a channel is I'm looking at it from the perspective of a first-time viewer, somebody that's just finding you for the first time. Maybe I've clicked on, I saw you in the comments somewhere or something, and I'm going to whatever. And so I'm looking at it from a first-time viewer's perspective, and then I'm also looking at it from the perspective of a video marketing coach. So when we first go over to your channel, so I like that you got some banner art up here. A lot of people tend to keep this blank, so I like that. Maybe I would say like your name, because it's like I get like some of our channel names a lot of times are made up, but it's just like Indy Kills with whomever, like with Ryan, for example. So something up here, or new videos every week, become a channel member here, or my Patreon, whatever, that's fine. Okay, so that's cool. I like that you got your join button for the channel memberships. So I know that kicks in at a certain level for a gaming channel. So that's awesome. And that's always good to have that up here. However, and I don't know a whole lot about what kind of games that you do. So maybe that will be relevant. If it's, for example, like you mentioned, Fortnite right here. So that's a popular game. So that's cool. It's like Fortnite, whatever, is this whatever game, and this other one kind of stuff. And so I would just to get a feel for it, like, is it always the same games, or is it just like first person shooters or whatever? So like still like somewhat of the who or something like that, and then a name, just so somebody knows who you are. The thing I always look at, I call this the welcome mat on any channel. And for gaming channels, it's like you can do this a couple different ways, and you actually have a lot more flexibility than like education-based channels. And that's in catching their interest and attention. So the fact that you got something that's quick here, it's a few minutes, it's 5 minutes or whatever. It says the best Fortnite skin changer. This starts playing instantly when you first come over to the channel. And so I'm gonna play this.
Silver Surfer.
All right. Pause for the cause. That hurts the ears. So instantly we got a negative here, because the audio, so that's something when you're streaming, because I can tell you got the picture-in-picture for the game, that's fine. Here's the thing, the audio cannot suck. So that means the game levels need to come down. Like for example, if I turn this up in this, and let's hit play on this, and I'm gonna hit this, turn it back up to where it was, and pause for the cause, and just brace yourselves.
Working in games, actually insane, guys. Oh my god.
Okay, do you hear how annoying that is? And that's very loud. So you hear like this airplane noise. I have no idea what you said, and it's too hard to hear. So when you're doing your game levels, turn your game audio so where you can hear it, but you're the prominent voice, especially since you're doing commentary on the video game. It's like, I don't know the what specifically of the thing, but again, if that's something specific, then cool, lead with that. I always recommend like doing like the what the channel is about kind of a stuff, but with games, you can do other fun stuff like something that's, again, interesting, my best 10 kills or the best, whatever, snipes, kind of a thing that's like, oh man, that's tight or whatever, kind of a stuff that's interest grabbing for games. So you got more flexibility there, but good job on just having that filled in. But I would say when you're readjust your live streaming or recording options so that your in-game levels are a little bit lower and that your voice is more clearly heard. Because if we're there and we're trying to hang out with you while you're streaming, if that noise of the game is overpowering it, then just kind of like be careful of that. The other thing here is like, where the game's at, man? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, where the stuff at? So, like, you got Fortnite stuff. Let's go over to the, like, and this is where I say, like, furniture for the house. You're probably too young to have furniture, but you got furniture in your house, even if it's milk crates, okay? So, it's like, so it should be like, one playlist here or, another one there for different games or certain things or themes within the game. So I want to go over to your video tab and just see what kinds of videos that you're doing, because you have 271 videos. That's a lot of real estate that you can be taking up to just say, hey, I play and I have some fun gameplays on this channel that instantly makes people say yes, or it's vibrant enough. Some of your thumbnails have stuff on here, some of them don't. So if it's about skins or whatever, let me move this down here. So if it's about skins, like new Link skins you got here, the other one, best night skin, like I would probably make this font white because it's a purple and blue background on a purple and blue background kind of a thing. So make the text white so that it's easy to see kind of a thing and easy to read. Just like this one is blue and yellow and with a black background, even though that's like a logo for the Battle Royale, like in the red, but that's easy to read though. So consider doing some stuff like that. Even the green up here is fine, but just make sure it's easy to see like this one was or whatever, so that people know, what's going on. But I would say if like you got one that's for skins, you can be like the best skins or how to download this or whatever on your home page, so that when somebody's coming to your channel, they know all of the kinds of stuff. Like if it's just like the skins and its updates or leaks or whatever, that's tight. Let's have that. One gaming channel who I'll share with you, because I'm into games as well. So I don't play no more, but let's see here. Mighty, what is it? I am Mighty Keith. I think that's his name. Yeah. So this is the one that I like to watch a lot. So let's go over to his channel. Pause. All right. So the thing is that he has a playlist, the same thing like I'm talking about. And he does a lot of parodies and jokes and stuff like that. And it's like, you got to go, like with video games, it's already exciting. It's already a storyline. It's already enjoyable. And so there's the interest level that's making the thumbnails clickable. Like your people, like for video games especially, your people already know the games. Like if you've been playing Call of Duty, you know what Call of Duty stuff looks like. If you've been playing The Last of Us, you know what The Last of Us characters look like. So when they see it and they're searching for it and it comes up, what's vibrant enough that sticks out? Like he makes some parody stuff. So people that's been following him for a while, they know what to look for. For example, like this is a Dragon Ball Z character over here. So like, Goku. You know what I'm saying? Goku, Superman, Naruto or whatever. And it's like when the hero has too much plot armor. So it's just like jokes on the who we already know. So those characters are in there. Doing fun stuff like changing the color of his eyes and stuff like that. But the point is like when you come to the homepage, yeah, you got his most recent uploads because he does have a ton of videos as well. But you also see like popular uploads is one, with the description, comedy videos featuring Keith, which is the dude. You also see what your main says about you, like Smash Brothers games and stuff like that. So it's like things that people already know, but it's specific to certain either genres, certain jokes, plays on jokes, puns, or something. So it's like Super Smash Brothers, all of that stuff. So it's like you got it episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on and so forth. in addition to other stuff. Now his could be a little bit better with some of this stuff in here, for as much as he's have or smash for a moment. So if you're doing reactions or whatever, all that stuff is applicable, even for video game channels. So like when it comes to the kind of content that you're making and it's an interest level, it's stuff that's fun, that's vibrant, keep that same energy on the channel so that people know, even like his name, he has play on his name, it's like Keith, like whatever. So it's just like you can still do that with video game channels and it still be fun, vibrant, and you can attract people to your thumbnails comparative to other ones and stuff like that. So that's just some of a little bit of a breakdown when it comes to like if you're not into an education space, something more entertaining, or something that's like, it's like people may still search for it, but if they see your stuff in the related section or recommended or coming up next or whatever stuff, you want it to be clickable and not scroll pastable is the point. So hopefully that helps as well. Doc saying, can you send some STL style ribs to Hawaii? No. And I did have some ribs the other day. Amazing things we have here. Saying, can you look at the makeover that I did on my channel and give it a review? Why, sure. Let's take a look here for the Cutting Edge TV. Let's take a look what we got here. So same thing. Thankfully, it's coming up with your specific channel coming up here. So let's go over.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the Cutting Edge. If you're new to this channel, my name is Mario Navarro Jr. And here at the Cutting Edge, our mission is to inspire you.
Okay, 10 seconds in, good. I don't even need to hear the rest. You're already on that process of that making make sense. Who are you? What do you have? And why should I care? Answer that, the beginning video should have. So good job on that. Study, understand, and apply. Great job with that. And I can see it's centered as well. So no matter if you're on a phone or whatever, and then your little, what's the name of here will be over here on mobile. So I can see all of that's been centered and things like that. I probably, depending, it might be add a name somewhere around about or something like that, just so people kind of know, especially if it's a branded channel name and you're the face of it. It's just something, it's not necessary, but for sure something that's there. So good job on that. Got your page filled out a little bit more. So we got some furniture in the house, so to speak. So that's good. You got uploads here. You got popular uploads and the second coming and beyond and other testimonials, things like that. So you got your playlist rolling. That's good. However, now the question becomes, again, the why should I care aspect of the what you're doing. And so if we got uploads here, I already got the uploads, the recent ones. So if you're making a lot of content, people know what the last couple videos were. That's fine. But now we got popular uploads. We don't need to have the back-to-back like that because we need to know specifically if these were popular or something, but they all fit within a certain range, especially for the kind of content that you're making here. I would suggest, what are the things that somebody needs to know? What do they need help with? So study, understand, and apply. We're assuming that this is in reference to the Bible. So it could be something like Bible Made Easy, whatever the case is. Okay, if we're talking about reading and studying ancient text, okay, what are the first things? New here or new, start here kind of a thing instead of popular uploads. Then, like think of those, the main point is always what's their next logical question. So playlist needs to be addressing next logical questions or descriptions and stuff like that as well. Saying learn the events that take place before, during, and after the second coming of Christ. Okay, great. You got a description here, short enough to read, and that you can see it. That's awesome. So the thing is now, be wary of contrast in the image. So instead of it being red and green text, what if that was white, and red or something like that, something that's easier to see. The other thing also, it's not nitpicking, it's just being concerned of multiple platform use. So when you're talking about like phones versus tablets versus computers and the real estate that they get you, sometimes I get caught up with this as well. The freaking timestamp will always cut the text off. So that's why you got to be wary of where you're placing stuff in your thumbnails. And that's why you'll see stuff where it is up here and it's kind of a slanted kind of a thing versus like it's running down here. If it's episode 2, then it's just like, okay, but can I see this? It's kind of dark, theme dark. So something needs to be visible. Only thing that's easy to see is the cutting edge TV Bible. That's white. That's the only thing that's contrasting. So you got to think, if somebody's searching for something or curious about something, make it clickable versus scroll pastable. So consider changing that, making it a little bit clearer, and then also consider not taking up that bottom right text, because ain't nobody talking to you, Siri. Mind your business. So consider that as well. So those are some things that I would recommend when it comes to that. It's always going to be, the first win is always going to be attention for any videos. It's always going to be attention based first. And so if you can win somebody's attention, then you can start to get to the other pieces of the metric that matter more when it comes to your content. Saying thanks for the tips. My pleasure. IT saying my Sony A6400 came with the 55 to 210 lens. Should I keep the lens when live? Should I even keep this lens when live streaming? Video is my primary. Unless you're going to be in a big sanctuary or in a big space and you need the range, then, you know what I'm saying? Like the 55 to 210 is a pretty significant zoom range. Even at 50 millimeters on something like the Sony cameras, it's going to be significantly. So you're not going to be close to it. You need to be further away. So unless for some reason, like most commonly thing that I can think of is like a church and the media stage box is in the back of the church, and you're trying to get like the pastor all the way at the front in the pulpit or something like that, then you're really, really zooming in. If you don't need range like that, then, you know, unless you know, looking at people across the street, that's the only thing I can see for using a range like that. You know, that's about it. Any tip to make the video smoother? I have the 500D. It records 720p 30 frames per second, or 1080p 20 frames per second. I believe let me see, let me Google real quick, what is the 500D? Because I know they do these weirdo names from Canon in other countries. It's like T5i over here, 500D over there, Kiss X, this, whatever. So that's the Canon Rebel T1i. So it's a very old camera. So we're looking at, let's check the specs on this. 1 second, and then I'll pull y'all over and you can take a look with me. All right. So we're looking at a T1i camera, which is the 500D. A 15 megapixel sensor, Digic 4, 1920 by 1080 resolution. So we're not looking at a really strong camera as far as like the internals. So that means everything else has to be right. If we're looking at a camera where the specs aren't going to be, you know, life-changing kind of a things or something super modern, then the 1080p, depending on what region you're in, it's like usually 1080p 25 or something frames per second or whatever. You need to, this is not for live streaming. This is just regular recorded videos. I doubt this camera can even live stream without significant hacks or something. For just regular videos, I would say you need to have good lenses and good lights and help the camera as best as you can. This is not a camera where we're going to be pushing the ISO to very high levels like 1000 or, you know, 1500 or 3200 ISO to these super bright. No, we're adding lights and we're getting good lights and we're making sure we are well lit. We're not probably even recording audio in the camera if it can record. Like for example, this doesn't have a, if we look over here, it doesn't have a, hold on, that's not what I wanted to do. So we got a remote port, AV digital out, and HDMI. So we're not looking at, it have HDMI, so probably with some similar hacks as other cameras. You might be looking at hacking it up potentially to try to get it to live streaming some capacity. But you're also making sure though your computer is significant enough, because the camera is already going to introduce some limitations, and now we need to make sure that are we using a good HDMI cable? Or USB cable in that matter? Are we using a computer that has enough RAM to breathe and process enough information for actual live streaming? even with the Elgato Cam Link, it has requirements to use that specific tool. So no matter what camera you have, if your computer doesn't meet those requirements, you can have the best camera on the market. It's not going to work because your computer can't process it well, just to even meet the requirements of the Cam Link or something similar. And so you just want to make sure your software tools, your computer can handle running all the things that you're trying to run when it comes to that. But those are some of the things I would suggest when it comes to that. DJ Indra, good to see you, saying GoPro Hero 9 review and unboxing. I don't know who's buying one of those, but it ain't me. Shoot, I don't do GoPros. I don't even want the Osmo Pocket no more because it don't focus well. So search YouTube, my friend, because I don't do GoPros. They're okay, but and I looked at the information for it when it came out. What was it, yesterday? And it's like, yeah, but no, because small is the way. I'm a firm believer in that. Small is the way when it comes to not streaming, but vlogging. It's like you want something that's small that's going to work, and it's just like the size of this chapstick, and you're just like, yeah, man, and everything's in frame, and it sounds good, and it looks vibrant. But I've seen too many people like either it's like, yeah, everything's in focus, but I don't know. I feel some kind of way. I need to maybe get over that. Maybe $400. I ain't doing it. I can see a lens for $400. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, so for me, it's like, I can't make that make sense because I know I'm not going to use it. Because every time I try to use something small, and I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Every time I try to use something small like that, it winds up being like, it's nice and it's cool. Even like the Osmo Action was really cool, and that one almost had me. But it's like, I want this. I don't care how big it gets, and I've had this conversation ad nauseum with my other nerdy friends. It's like, I want this when I'm going. I don't care that it's a little bit bigger because I know that the background's gonna be blurry, or I know how to manipulate it. You got those small screens or whatever. Yeah, it's like nice to just kind of hold it and just do your own thing and everything's in focus. But it's just a certain preference that I have when the occasional vlog is being done. I can't see me using it. It'll sit over here like a pen that sits on the desk. It'll just sit there, and I know I won't use it. So it's like, I don't know about that. We'll see. No, we won't. It's not happening. So I just want to stop saying I hope everyone's having an amazing day. We'll get to see you, Lemon Drop. I'm glad that you came by. I appreciate it. Chocolate Twist Yoga is saying, how do I add a join my Patreon in the channel art? That's going to be in your, when you go to your YouTube channel, it'll say customize channel. So it's going to be a big blue button where it'll let you make changes to the way the home page and about page and all that stuff looks. Once you go over there to hit customize channel, then you will go over to your about tab. And at the bottom of your about tab, it will have your links. You click on that pen tool and you drop in the link there. And then you can, it'll have it, the order that you have the links is the order that you'll see the links on your channel art. H Production saying, any ideas on how to make vlogs or videos faster? It takes me a day or two for idea, then shoot, or shocked. That's like when you got those two words like I shot or shocked or whatever. But I get you. It's probably a typo. It's like then shoot 2 days and edit for 2-3 days. So a weekend whole. Will it get faster as I will it get faster as I get the hang of it? Amazing question. I love this question. So as you all can see, I am a professional vlogger, okay? But I'm not. But any time that I've vlogged, and I can only give you from I've recorded more vlogs than I've actually let live on the channel publicly. And it's a lot of fun, and I enjoy it. I just don't think I'm the best person for it, probably because I stop a lot. But what I can tell you from my experience and talking to friends that do vlog a lot for their channel, when it comes to making vlogs faster, how about this? I'll tell you this. This is one great tip that I do want to share with you that will help you a lot if you're into vlogging. And I'm going to pull up, what is his name? Here we go. So I'm going to give you one pro tip that has nothing to do with me, but it's extremely helpful. And so Cody Warner is my go-to person when I'm trying to think about simplifying vlogging in a way that is fun and still myself. I don't feel like a weirdo kind of a thing. he did a video where he talked about like the 5 different types of vlogs that you could make. Where is it? And he's just started back daily vlogging. So let me go and find. It's somewhere in here. The daily vlog is back. Nope. It's before. It's right before the quarantine or something. Oh gosh, it's in here someplace. But he talked about like different ways that you could vlog and some different tips with vlogging. I must have passed it up. But the thing is that he talked about like the 5 different common ways that you can vlog that makes it easy. And here's the storyline and here's how you do it kind of a thing. And so the point of that was that it's like, here's the best way that you can enter a vlog. You don't know maybe what you're doing, but you can start to plan around it. Okay, how about I do what I recommend other people do? Let's go to adding the word vlog and see what comes up on that. 5 vlog templates. Well, wouldn't you know, my own advice works. So let's copy the link and I'm gonna throw this in the chat. This video is amazing because he goes through literally 5 vlogging templates that you can use so that you can make your videos easier. And I would absolutely recommend like save that video, watch that video a few times, take some notes on it, because he talks about like the story of what makes a vlog interesting in essence. Like where a lot of us mess up when we're first getting started with vlogging is that we just think, I'm gonna show you me going to the bathroom and me combing my hair and brushing my teeth, and this is an amazing vlog because it's me showing you. And it's just like, no, we all do that every day. Versus here's something that's happening and blah blah blah. So for example, in my last vlog, it was a multi-day combination of things because it was no point in me showing every day individually when I could take sections of the beginning, middle, end of the day to the point of here's the story. I'm out of town. I'm on a paid shoot. It's towards the end of it. I went to go get coffee that morning. I'm in the office. Here's some things that are on my mind about being in this position. And then here's me in my work, for example. And so now it's transitioning from just some thoughts to lead into the point of the video essentially is like, it's like, I don't know, or somewhat of a storyline in there. It's like, I don't know if I'm going to finish this in time. You know, it's like, I hope I can finish this work today. It's my last day here. This is what I'm doing here. Here's some things on my mind. I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish. That's the point. I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish this in time. And here's how I feel being an entrepreneur doing this kind of work, traveling right now. I'm super grateful because X. That's the story. And I'm just showing elements of that to convey the story. So you see the transition from it being daytime to nighttime. It's like, man, I gotta get something to eat. I'm tired. I'm gonna have to stay up late. To now I'm in my robe. And it's just like, I didn't finish. It wasn't like a happy ending in that I didn't finish. And I'm like, well, I'm not where I want to be with the edit. And it's just like, blah, blah, blah. The point of me starting that vlog that day was knowing that that's the truth. I don't know if I'm going to finish this in time. I don't know if I'll be able to get this back to the client by the time I would ideally want to. That's not going to push stuff back further. And I'm just communicating that. And I'm not capturing every little thing I'm doing. Maybe I'm showing me in the car because I'm showing the transition from the hotel, leaving the hotel to the thing. So I just may have on my phone some bullet points of the day of like, okay, like, well, here's the night before, right? There's the thought process. And I'm going to spend some time on this because like I said, that point was like, I see more value in vlogging as an entrepreneur, especially. So now I'm looking like, okay, it's the night before. I'm sitting there like, I'm going to vlog tomorrow. What's going on? What's happening? I don't know if I'm going to make it. My client hadn't been feeling well. We had to push some days off. And it's just like, man, this is like my real thoughts. But I'm like, how can I also share this in a vlog that is something that's worth kind of looking at a little bit? Am I going to make it? That's the one question. Am I going to make it? So there's some emphasis. He also talks about doing simple stuff like the value in the mundane, the value in the everyday. That's something that I actually, I watched this video a lot of Cody's because it helps me to understand if I spend a ton of time in this room and I'm like, I can't make this interesting, but you can. So for example, if I was doing a vlog in here today and I'm like, man, I got to do this stream. I don't really feel like it. I haven't eaten yet. I'm on 1 cup of coffee. I don't know if I'm going to have an attitude in the stream or what. You know, it's like, because those are all the real thoughts. And it's just like, I just don't want to do work today. I'm sick of myself today. And it's just like, I don't want to do anything, but I need to show up regardless. That would be the point of the vlog today. So I would show you angles other than at eye level. And so I'm showing all the thought process, because if you think about it well, you can execute it better. So when it comes to the vlogging, which can have more spontaneous spins to it, just think about the different things. You never lose nothing by, it's like, okay, I'm walking in the office. The next shot is not going to be me sitting down. I'd take you underneath the desk to where I got a footstool and a big old stupid poofy thing, a pillow, that I put my feet up on underneath the desk, which y'all never see, but that's an angle that you would, because it's a vlog and I can show you other angles than just eye level. Now, the video, I'm recording it sequentially because it's just like, I started off the day feeling like this. I just need to finish and push through. So maybe the point of that vlog today would have been the value in pushing through when you don't want to. You know, the value of showing up as an entrepreneur. So maybe I would sit down after the stream is over, bring the camera over, and it's just like, man, I'm tired. I'm starting to get sore because I have stage 4 endometriosis. Just like I'm tired. I'm starting to get sore. It's just like my legs hurt. All real symptoms that I'm having right now. I'm getting fatigued. I was already fatigued before I started, and the coffee is worn off. I need to eat and whatever, but I'm super grateful because the best thing happened to me today, which was the biggest business social media marketing podcast, Social Media Examiner with Michael Stelzner. My episode went live today. It's a real. All of this is real. You know what I'm saying? It actually happened today. That episode went live. And that's the biggest people in the space have been on this business podcast. That's huge. And I was featured today. Blog posts on the website, all of that. I'm speaking at the YouTube summit that they have, marketing summit. I'm speaking there. That's this month, this through like October 2nd. All of these are points and angles of a vlog that becomes, to somebody that connects to you and what you're doing and whatever it is, they can see value in that, or they can see like some level of interest in that. So that's the one angle. Videos are very easy. And I would actually say listen to the podcast, because I have a framework that I teach my clients on that, the 4-block framework, the record to edit process. I actually break that down in the podcast with Michael Stelzner in the Social Media Examiner podcast. Listen to it, for sure. Listen to it. It's a lot of good stuff. The blog post has all the stuff in it. But the framework essentially is like recording it in chunks. If you look at any of my videos, and I did a video on how to record videos easier, that video's on the channel, there's a framework to it. I'm still thinking through, what's the value that this person has? What's the problem that they're having? What's the intro? How am I starting this video? So now when it comes to editing this video, it's way more easier for me to do these things because they're listed out. Block 1, block 2, block 3, block 4. So you know you thought about it before, you executed on it. The editing is just chopping off the parts that don't make sense, or the part where you were drinking water before. And, so that's it. That's literally how that works. Yes, you will edit faster when you think before the execution. Sometimes we just sit down and we just rant on about whatever, and we don't know where to cut off. We didn't make space for a transition. We didn't make space for us to get to point number 2. We've been talking about point number 1 for 30 days. In this video, now it's a 25-minute video that should have been 7. Kind of a thing, because we didn't have bullet points. We didn't lead with whatever. So structure your content better so that you can actually deliver it better. And the editing follows all of those things that come before that. So that's what I would suggest. Yeah, we got a super chat from Book of Alpharonomy. Good to see you. Glad you're here. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I appreciate what you do, GG. Bless up. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. It means a lot. So next question here. Also is saying how to grow a YouTube channel from start. Can't just depend on the YouTube algorithm, right? No. If you're trying to grow a YouTube channel, the thing I would absolutely say is what makes that channel valuable. What is the thing that makes that channel valuable? Sometimes we duplicate and we do things that we see other people doing or saying, and we don't know why they're doing or saying it to begin with. Again, I'm not just plugging it, but seriously go listen to that podcast that I did with Michael Stelzner on the social media. Let me pull that up if I can remember. Social media. And I'm going to link that in the thing in the chat, and I'm still going to answer the question. If you're talking about growing a channel, what makes that channel valuable? If it's not valuable to the overall viewer, it will not matter. I'm dropping this in the chat right now. All right, so y'all go check that out. Seriously, it's a ton of value in there. The thing is that if you are, like we had a DIY plumbing channel, if I'm who I am now, I'm single, I'm maintaining my own household, I don't have a lot of time because I'm an entrepreneur, and I run into an issue to where maybe, let's say, it'll take the rental company too long to come out and do whatever. I'm like, I need to just fix this, or I can, and it'd be $2 fixed, but I don't know that. At the point to where I have a problem, we are always entering our content at the point to where we're addressing a problem or a pain point for that ideal viewer when they're coming in. So we have to meet them halfway at making it very clear that our channel addresses that. The YouTube algorithm honestly gets too much praise for all that it does because it's not really doing all of what everybody thinks it does in a negative way. Because YouTube does not care about you, the creator, in the sense like it's not built for you. It's built to serve. And so most people think, well, they're not pushing my videos out. Is it worth for somebody to watch? Are people searching for that? Are they looking for that? If the answer is no, then why would they show it to you? We'd be pissed if every time we we'd be pissed if we search for something on YouTube, YouTube didn't give us good recommendations. We can't find an answer. We now got to go look up forums and discussion posts or somewhere on Google somewhere in like page 16 type stuff. We're frustrated. YouTube doesn't want that. They want you to stay on the platform. So it's designed to serve the viewer, the person that's on the keyboard. Talking about building a channel, build it to serve and make it abundantly clear whatever it is that you have to offer. When they come to that channel, this is absolutely where you should subscribe, or you want to already by yourself, because the things that I talked about, like in the channel reviews, having that welcome mat, where's your furniture, the playlist, to show people like, man, this is a fun channel. I do a lot of gaming things. This is the cool channel. I do a lot of DIY stuff, from your sink to do whatever. Or this is a great channel because I do a lot of home mech type products, not products, but I do home projects. You know what I'm saying? Like, make it undeniable. So I want to show, and let's just be like transparent here. I'm going to pull up my YouTube channel and show you, because I have my stuff dropped recently. It's towards the end of last month. So it's dropped some, but let's take a look here. Now, this is my actual YouTube analytics for the last 28 days. And it'll tell you that from this time frame to this time frame across these last 28 days, 37.2% came from YouTube recommending my content. I am nobody special to where I, had some following. I started when I was working at the bank, making this channel. And so a lot of my content is searched around, is created around the same things I'm teaching here. Helping somebody solve a problem that's something that people are actually searching for, and they want a specific pain point addressed. You would think cameras aren't that interesting or this nerdy stuff. Everybody's interested in something, even our regular interest stuff. Everybody's interested in something. And so you can see that data is also representative of here over the last 28 days. My most traffic searches are coming from 42.6%. It's coming from YouTube search. It's also coming from suggested videos. It's about close to 20%, but 18.9% to be more specific. Sharing that YouTube is doing the grunt work. Now from here is my job. 4.7, I was pushed over too much. 4.7% click-through rate. This is on the channel overall. For people that are click, it's like, I need to do a better job at thumbnails. I want to get that to like 8% if I can. It's like, so I need to double up on that. Views from impressions. How many times people searched and saw it and they scrolled past it? Are you clickable or are you scroll pastable? So your thumbnail work game, I need to improve on that. Which is up from, I know, what it used to be when I first started, around about 2 minutes 30 seconds. Then it got to 3 minutes, and then it got to 3 minutes 30 seconds, kind of a estimate. Now I'm up to 4 minutes and 5 seconds is the average view duration. So maybe on a stream like today, ain't that many people gonna watch for the whole 2-something hours or whatever. But on a regular video, if that video is 5 minutes and it's 4.5, not 4.5, but essentially 4 minutes, great. If that was a 15-minute video, this ain't that good. This is overall, but that's pretty long considering. And then watch time from the impressions. So it's a significant funneling system for attention. This is the algorithm. Now, if your stuff is down here and it's like 7%, 2%, 9% or something like that coming from YouTube recommending your content. Is it recommendable? Is it searchable for somebody to find you? And then you have these other ways and stuff like that as well. Let's take a look and see what that was. Even, let's go back some more. Let's do 90 days. That's the other one that they have. Not that. Okay. No, let's do 90 days. All right. All right, so you can see that dropped some. So now we can see from June 20th through September 17th, the last 90 days. Okay, 1.6 million impressions, 36.9% from YouTube recommending my content. So about here on the grand scheme of things. So it's not bad, but it could be better for sure. And there's like a 5% click-through rate. So again, not bad. And views from the impressions, 4.5 average view duration. So that didn't change. And then watch time from the impressions as well. But you also still see that primary way of people finding my content is them searching from something. And so if you're not making content that is for people to search, is of some interest, it addresses something that is of interest to the person on the keyboard, it's like the YouTube algorithm. People make it seem like it's not working for you. Are you working to serve the viewer? That's the bigger question. If your content isn't working to serve the viewer in some way, why would YouTube show it to them? Because it's not designed to help them or interest them. Something else that YouTube is sharing with you. YouTube does a lot of stuff to help people get their content seen more by other people that are interested, to the point of, it's another section in here. And let me look for it real quick. That is also designed to help you as well when it comes to your content and designing it. Now, if you have been making content on a regular and consistent basis, you may not see some of this stuff. So it's got to be, let me find out what tab it's on. Views, engagement, audience. I think so. Yes. So this is the audience tab. Let's go back up here and I'll show y'all this. So this is the audience tab up here. So like I said, you see my content drop some, about 10-11%. This is still within the last 28 days. So about 10-11%. So subscribership is down from like 5, whatever it was, or whatever the case is. However, that's not the point. But it will show you like metrics around that. Now, if we scroll down here, this is key, because this is something, again, how is your stuff serving the person that has their butt in the seat on the keyboard? Oh, Tech Gear talked about M50 live streaming with autofocus. Who also has a video on autofocus with the M50 on live? Me. Good. We're on the same page for serving you, not me. Also had Think Media live streaming tutorials for Mac and PC. Who also has a Mac and PC video? Oh, me. Great. We're on the same page. Canon has a new camera up its sleeve. I'm very excited. Oh, Potato Jet. What else do we talk about on the channel? Rumors. Also your interest. Great. I'm glad we're all on the same page. The best Canon vlogging lenses. I'm not vlogging with no Canon camera no more. And it's like I'm not buying no other lenses. So glad that that's of interest to you. I'm not buying that. It's a waste of money for me, unfortunately. Now, if I was a better creator, I would buy the lenses because it's of interest to you. However, at my financial pace right now, I am looking at investing things that I can also share with you that I also need for my business first. That's just where I'm at. This may be a later date, but it ain't today. And it just came out 4 days ago. NVIDIA broadcast is finally here. This could be of interest as something to look into, because we talk about a lot about Elgato and stuff like that. And it's just like, okay, cool. I may watch that and check that out. But other videos your audience watched. So YouTube gets too much slack around algorithm stuff. And if you're not creating for the viewer, then you're not creating videos potentially worth watching. And that's just the meat and potatoes of it at the end of the day. And so when you're creating content that serves the viewer, YouTube, why wouldn't they share it out? They want people. So yes, it's more than the algorithm. There's strategies and built into all of that and all kinds of stuff that goes into it, even to the extent of, let's go here. What time did we start streaming today? You know, we come over to this graph. Today is Friday from 11, 12, 12:30. Now it's tapering off. So we're into, 2:40. So about here, it's just like, okay, between the 2 and 3 o'clock, many of y'all are online. Doesn't mean you want to watch for 2 hours, but I'm coming up here to strategically release videos when y'all are online. Because if I release it up here, y'all sleep. So there's more of a strategy into this than you realize. When it comes to it's about marrying the marketing and the systems that make your business make sense with the things that the tools that YouTube give us to better serve the person. I'm never thinking, other than when it comes like financial decisions, about like the lens and stuff. It's like I've been known that stuff that's interesting, and just paying attention to keeping my hand on you all's pulse, not mine. I'm keeping my hand on your pulse. What do you care about? What are you having issues with? What's something that's helpful that I can talk about? When I started this stream, what did I do? Address something that you probably are concerned with, maybe seeing or whatever. And we talked about the M50. With live streaming, we talked about Canon releasing their webcam utility out of beta because that's importance of you. I don't use Canon cameras anymore. It's not about me. You know what I'm saying? So if you're creating content for your business, that's one thing, but a lot of entrepreneurs tend to make content that serves the business first and then hope people buy. And it's just like, why people ain't watching? You didn't make it for them. You did it for yourself. And so that's where that comes from, or just ways to kind of help with that. All right, let me see. Saying, can you please review mine? So talking about a channel review. Well, let us see if we can find thine own channel for H Productions. And let's take a look-see here. All right, so problem number 1. I type in H Productions, which is your name. You don't come up. So this is a problem. So the first thing is always about being visible. So now I got to look through and find out the who and the wheres and the whatnots. Go ahead and drop your channel link so I actually can get to the specific channel. So then we go up here to filter channel. Most people ain't gonna do this. Make this be clear in that. If you say, hey, just search me on YouTube, they didn't find you. I don't know where you at, and I'm not finna work that hard. I can go back to watching anime, kind of a stuff, right? So now I'm finding you. Never mind, so don't drop your link. So here we go. So now we got the channel up here, excuse me. Okay, same thing, same rules apply when it comes to that. We already have the brand name here that we have that, and it's not a person or personalized image or for the logo here. That's fine. The only other thing though too is that the branding is kind of different from a corporate look kind of a thing. You got this blue and matte black kind of a thing, and then we always got like a Harry Potter-esque kind of a thing going on up here. So make the brand information match when it comes to these things, because if you confuse, you lose. We never want to be confusing, like, is this the same company? Is it different? It's on the same page, but I'm just saying, don't create questions in the viewer's mind that they didn't already have, and now that they need to answer, and detracts from other things. So that's one thing that I would say. Again, always in the channel, who are you helping with what specifically kind of a thing? Is this your production house company where you're going to be listing other people that you've worked with and like reviews on that kind of stuff? Are you helping other filmmakers or whatever? Same thing. You have the what should be the welcome mat, what I call, and that video typically is about, especially for businesses, education-based whatevers. Again, who are you helping with what specifically? I did this with the Cutting Edge TV's channel, and he went and updated it. Fantastic. Okay. We need the who are you helping with what specifically video. Who are you? What do you have? And why should they care? Same things I talked about before when it comes to filling out the playlist, adding furniture to the house, so to speak, so that people understand. Let's go over to the videos tab real quick. And so you got some contrast here, which is good. Excuse me. And so you got the black and the white, which is always easy to see. Only thing I would say is just make sure, like I was just going to say, make sure they're big enough, but it looked like you kind of fixed that. Because on here, it's a little small. And I'm thinking it's fine on desktop, but on a phone, how much smaller is it? And then you have a bigger one. So I would stick with the bigger format just because it's easier to see on a phone or whatever. But then too, it's like H Productions, but then it's vlog stuff. So is this about you or is this about me, the viewer? You know what I'm saying? Like, who are you serving? Or if it's just like a personality brand channel or based channel, that's fine. But then don't call it H Productions. Call it your name because it's about you. It's like Parentry on Poet poetry on parents and family that don't have nothing to do with a production company per se or a filmmaker. So what is the purpose of the channel? What is the point of the content and those things? So you got to be able to answer those questions when you're talking about delivering a value, even if it's a vlog style channel. I always say there's 3 categories of channel. You have that proprietary style channel, which is the category 1, like a Dave Ramsey of the world. I'm actually going to pull him up so you can see what I mean, where you're never going to see vlog content. You're never going to see him having fun in some way with his family or his kids, kind of a deal. So this is a category 1 style channel where you're going to see, again, something that's specific to the person. Most people, he's developed enough authority in the who he is. He doesn't have to say it, but he still addresses the welcome mat in a way that makes sense for his audience to say, what now? How to take control of your money? Probably a pressing question that most people have, addressing a pain point. So this is his highlights channel, but it still have the Dave Ramsey Show, the highlights. So it's letting you know. Little bit of color and stuff like that or whatever, just because he has different people. He has a bigger brand now, so that makes sense. If you do have a bigger brand, multiple channel networks and stuff like that, you're looking at the Ramsey Network. Brilliant marketing on his side because you have the Dave Ramsey Show, other people that also he talks and recommends that are also branded into his thing. So it makes it easier to find his other assets online. But then you come down here, these are all the same things. This is the category 1 style channel. Again, you're never going to see vlogs. You do see the uploads. You take top trending videos from his show. The live streams that he has from his show. He's actually live right now. Popular segments, in addition to this other thing, which some bigger channels have different stuff, or branded ones. Protect yourself. It's going to be about protecting your assets, stuff like that, financial topics. So even still, for his brand, going through to do things that make sense. So that's your category 1 style channels. You have a channel like mine that's a little bit more hybrid. Yeah, you're going to get some business tips and things like that or whatever, more tech based on the point of tech from the side of the entrepreneur. And then I'm going to show vlogs and stuff like that because I am more of a person. It's just like I would prefer to show more of my personality than not. I don't want a job on my channel. That's me. Cause the channel to grow slower because you're dividing interests at that point. So that's a hybrid channel, more of what you see here on Entre Women TV. Categories 2 style channel. We talked about Casey Neistat earlier. This is a category 3 style type channel in that it's vlogs. Yeah, he may teach you some stuff or share with you some things, but it's all vlogs, all personality based style channels. Doesn't necessarily mean it's that big, but it could be a family vlog or whatever. So what category are you in? That category specific content is going to decide who are you helping with what specifically in the way that your content makes sense, that in a way that it can serve the viewer. So that's what I would say on that. Doc Roxanne, I'm still here. Hey, man, for all of you that are hanging on, kudos to you. People say give value to the viewer. What does that mean? How do you give value to vlogs? So I think I just explained that because I'm seeing the comments a little later, so I just shared that. So happy I'm joining. Sorry I didn't get here sooner. Well, we're 2 hours in, a little over 2 hours, so we're going deep today, apparently. Glad to see you. Glad that you're here. Saying, by the way, thanks for viewing my channel. Just saw it now as I was playing the game. Saying thanks for the tips. I'll improve my channel, like playlists and stuff. Good. And I hope you have fun. And that's the thing. Like, especially like being, being a nerdy and into games and stuff myself. If only we had, like a YouTube. We were just trying to get internet. Good internet that wasn't and all that stuff to back in the day. So have fun, have fun and stuff like that. Gaming is vibrant. It's a lot of fun and interest and things like that. So you can have more flexibility and things. So the DIY social media channel.com asks, what's your favorite streaming service, software, price, and quality? I have a Mac and I'm a beginner. I love and I use Ecamm Live, which is what I'm using right now. It is Mac only, so that's something that could be of value to you. I switched from a PC or Windows, whatever. I switched from a PC to a Mac for Final Cut Pro 10 and Ecamm Live because I'm like, these are the bee's knees, and that's what I want. And if I got to switch to get it, that's what I'm going to do. So it's just like, yeah, you got web-based software tools that are easy, like BeLive.tv, which I honestly started on like in 2016. It's web-based, doesn't require much, not a whole lot of moving parts, similar to StreamYard. But if you're on a Mac, I don't think there's a better software than Ecamm Live, honestly, because it's as simple as you need it to be, or it can be more complex, just like when I do the pre-screen music or I'm doing overlays and stuff like that. You can customize it more for a more professional look. As you grow into it, you can, but it's as easy and as simple as you want to be. Because my streams back in the day used to be hit the start button. It says go live, and I'm like, hey y'all, welcome to the stream, and we just start. And now it's, over time develop into bring comments up. Let's do blah, blah, blah and stuff like that. So that's all. That's what I would say. Price is for the price, it's worth it. I'll put it that way. For the other streaming services, like a StreamYard, like a BeLive.tv, they're comparable at about $30 per month, I think, on the standard plan, and a little bit more. So saying this was fun. I'm going to check out those Instaclips. Those are slightly embarrassing. I'm not even gonna lie. They're fun to do, but slightly embarrassing. Just like I had the one. Y'all have to watch it. I did the other one where it was like the M50 kind of like loses it because about the M50 Mark II rumors and all of what it's gonna have. I literally went and got on my car kit the emergency, like the foil blanket, and I got it over my head and stuff, and doing like the Miss Sophia from the Color Purple stuff. So I don't know. I'm hesitant on doing more of those. This is so embarrassing a little bit. So, that's what I was saying. All right. So let me see here. Let me check questions and stuff like that we have. H Production saying, what's the difference between entrepreneur and businessman, and how to be one? Play on words at that point for, entrepreneur versus business type, business owner or whatever. More or less though, you define what the title means for you, essentially. You define what that title means. You own a business, you run a business for yourself. If you started it yourself, you're an entrepreneur. And you're a business person, whether you're honestly starting a business or not. I was an entrepreneur and a business owner, I put it that way, just because the things that I would do is just like, no, you handle yourself in a professional manner. So even working at a corporate job long before, it's just like, no, I'm a business-oriented person. So, I don't know, it's like play on words, not that big of a deal. So, or Jasonoid, good to see you. Glad that you're here. Saying great content. Appreciate that. Glad to be of service. H Production, thank you so much for your help. You're awesome. Thanks for the tip on changing the channel name. Sure thing. Saying thank you. There we go. DIY social media channel. My pleasure. Glad to be of service. And Irene Yaya saying hi. Good to see you. Glad that you are here. And that hits the bottom of the comments barrel. I don't think there's any other questions that I missed or anything like that. Whew. All right. So I think that's all. So with that, we're ending it. We're calling it good there. So glad that you guys enjoyed the stream today. Do these every Friday, somewhere about the noonish mark. Just check and have your notifications on and things like that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed what you saw today, got some value out of it, things like that. Hit the thumbs up button if you didn't already, if you like it. And if you are a white chocolate lover, leave a comment down below. And if you are a dark chocolate lover, say nothing. No, I'm just kidding. But with that, guys, live with passion. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.